to make your way to your seats because the action begins in 3 minutes. Time now for Astros Insights with broadcaster Brandon Axel.
On the San Jose Barracuda for a 5th time this season, with the Barracuda leading it 3 wins to Abbotsford's 1. And the Canucks tonight looking at a couple of streaks. First and foremost is their own 3-game losing skid. And if they get the job done tonight, that'll put to a close San Jose's 4-game winning streak. And the team returns home after a tough road trip. But the good news is, over these last 5 days, they will put their feet up and practice hard, which is something that was few and far between over a very busy January, where they played 15 games over a 30-day stretch. And Canucks head coach Manny Malhotra is happy to be back home and getting to more of a routine over these next few weeks over the homestand.
It's definitely nice to have a few consecutive practice days together. Not only to work on our game, but to get the guys some rest. Obviously, a lot of games, a lot of nights adds up with the travel and everything. So to be able to get back to home, get some quality practice days in, and get an off day in there as well was really good fun.
Some players to watch tonight. How about a pair of all-stars? For San Jose, it is Philip Beastep going to Rockford next week for the All-Star Classic. He's having a great sophomore campaign and enters with 36 points in 39 games. There's also a first-rounder of the San Jose Sharks. And for Abbotsford, it is Ben Berard, who is named an injury replacement for Kirill Kuzmiatsev for the All-Star Classic. And he's having a great season. He leads the team in scoring and enters on a 3-game point streak. And Ben is just a great story overall, as he's an undrafted forward that spent all of last year in the ECHL and now is an AHL All-Star. That's for me. This has been Al's Insights.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back to Rogers Forum for First Nations Night, presented by Headlands Environmental Services, as your Abbotsford Canucks take on the San Jose Barracuda. As I always ask you, Abbotsford, are you ready?
Hello, Canucks fans.
fans, and welcome inside Rogers Forum for tonight's game between the Abbotsford Canucks and the San Jose Barracuda. Thanks for tuning in on AHL TV through FloHockey. My name is Brandon Astle. Well, over these past few weeks, the Canucks at times have looked dominant, but other times not so much, and a lot has depended on which venue they're playing in of late, as things have sputtered for them a bit on the road, but here at home they've been racking up wins, and the good news for them is that the next 4 are here inside Rogers Forum, and a bonus is that they're able to get more than a few practices in earlier this week, which have been few and far between, and a huge reason for that is due to their very busy January schedule, where they played 15 games over a 30-day stretch. So that is a lot of hockey over a short span. But now a new month begins, and it's a little more relaxed. But they won't be able to stay in autopilot if they want to make a run at this thing. And awaiting them tonight is a very dangerous San Jose squad. They're playing some great hockey. They've won 4 in a row, including a game a few nights ago at home against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. So these next 2 nights, these games are going to happen quick. Tonight at 7 o'clock local time, and then tomorrow a rare 4 o'clock Saturday game. And the Canucks will be the likes of a couple of Olympians in Reichel and Ravinskis, who left to the Olympics in Milan, as Lucas will play for Germany and Henry will suit up for Latvia. So they lose those 2, but the good news is they have the services of Lekkerimäki, Mancini, and Tolopilo, who were sent back to Abbotsford before the Olympic break. So they'll be able to come down here for the next few weeks and play, and they're all in the lineup tonight. And they're looking to get the Canucks out of this 3-game funk, as the team has taken to the ice, led by the starting netminder, Nikita Tolopilo. The Canucks, again, unable to leave a road trip unscathed with injuries. Unfortunately, Sawyer Minio is out. And the Canucks tonight will roll with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Every healthy body is playing tonight. There is not a single healthy scratch, which leads us into the scratches for the Canucks and then the Barracuda. Out of the lineup for Abbotsford, Joseph LeBate, Mackenzie McEachran, Henry Ravinskis, Sawyer Minio, Vilmer Ulriksson is banged up on Friday. He's going to miss a 2nd straight game. Kirill Kudryavtsev, unable to go still, and will not participate next week at the All-Star Classic. Chase Stillman has been out a while, and Lucas Reichel, I mentioned, he is at the Olympics, and Niels Oman remains out. Scratch for San Jose: Nick Leddy, Quentin Musty, Shane Bowers, Samuel LaBerge, Ethan Cardwell, and Jack Barr. So the Canucks, we're going to see all sorts of different forward lines and defense pairs tonight. On paper, the top line tonight, Mueller, Lekkerimäki, and Bates. The second line, Waters between Berard and Klimovich. Kara, the third line center, with Kambites and Poisson on his wings. Walker and Felton are the extras. That's right, Christian Felton, a defenseman, is playing forward tonight. The 7D looks like this. Schultz is with Mancini. Knichov with Wu. Clayton will play at Arnson. Derek Dashke is the extra, and starting in net, Nikita Tolopilo. For the visiting Barracuda, they got a full 12 forwards and 6D. Beasted's the first line center with Lund and Chernyshov on the wing. White, the second line center with Wallstrom and Afanasiev. Huntington on the third line, he'll center Giles and Haltonen. And the fourth line is Van Roboys between Vincent and Houle. On defense, Allen is paired with Cagnoni. Haviland is with Carlson. Hache will skate with Thompson. Starting net is Carrier. All right, we'll send things over to Al Murdoch to set things up. Canucks Barracuda in just a matter of moments.
These young athletes were taken far too soon, and our hearts go out to their families, friends, and the entire Southern Alberta Mustangs community. We grieve with you and hold you in our thoughts during this difficult time. We ask everyone to join us in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. The Abbotsford Canucks are honored to play on the traditional unceded territory of the Stalo people, including the Matamway and Sumac First Nations. We honor the contributions that Indigenous peoples have made and continue to make to the sport of hockey. We are committed to working towards a future of truth and reconciliation. Please welcome to the ice, Chief Allison Kay of Method Way First Nation. And Chief Dalton Silver of Subat First Nation to welcome us to tonight's game. Will both captains please join us at center ice for a ceremonial puck drop? Thank you. Now please welcome tonight's honor guard, families from Method Way First Nation. Please turn your attention to Ronald Mateste and Melissa F. from Method Way First Nation for the performance of a welcome song. Thank you. Please remain standing with your hats and welcome Aaron Kendrick in the singing of the Star Spangled Banner in Old Canada.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
The month of January asked a lot from the Abbey Canucks, playing 15 games in 30 days. But now the page turns to February, which offers a more forgiving schedule, but don't mistake a lighter load for an easier road, as the urgency remains real. And standing in the way tonight are the red-hot San Jose Barracuda, riding a 4-game win streak and holding the upper hand in the season series. Welcome inside Rogers Forum. My name is Brandon Astle. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the hometown Canucks. Back between the pipes, sent down from Vancouver, it is Nikita Tolopilo. 5-5-3 on the year, the .294 goals against, a .901 save percentage. On defense, we'll start a pair of former Barracuda defensemen, Schultz and Clayton. And up front, the top line of Mueller, Lecker-Mackey, and Baines. At the other end, for San Jose, getting the start, Gabriel Carriere. 10-7-3 on the year with a .268 goals against, an .895 save percentage. On defense, starting as Cagnoni and Allen. And up front, the top line of Biested, Lund, and Chernyshov. Officiating crew tonight, the two referees, Harrison O'Prey, Will Kelly. Working the lines, Nathan Van Oosten and Chase Ising. Canucks in their white uniforms, Barracuda in their blacks. The Canucks will turn to their green uniforms on home ice after the All-Star break. So time is running out to see the light sweaters here inside Rogers Forum. It'll be Mueller against Biested to get this game going as soon as an ice issue is fixed to the left of Gabriel Carriere. Start of a 4-game homestand for the Abbey Canucks, while this is just a quick 2-game trip for the San Jose Barracuda. They are back home next weekend and play the Henderson Silver Knights. Looks like we're ready to go. Power versus power. The top lines head-to-head to get things going here inside Rogers Forum. Sticks are down, puck is down, and away we go from Abbotsford, and the Barracuda get the first touch. It's a Burnaby kid, Luca Cagnoni, chipping it off the glass of center, rolls away from the intended target, Cam Lund, and Lecker-Mackey picks it up. He's got a 4-game point streak going. Lecker-Mackey dumps it in. Carriere stops it, feeds it across to Cagnoni. Nice little backhand feed to Biested. Biested to center to Chernyshov behind the defense. Early chance, and Clayton came back and knocked it off his stick in the last second. Nice job by Clayton to get there just in time before his former teammate could get a shot towards Tolopilo. That was a nice stretch pass from the Barracuda defense to get it up ice to Chernyshov, who has been a Canuck killer. Over a third of his points this year have come against the Abbey Canucks. He leads all skaters with 9 points in 4 games. He's on the bench right now watching Klimovich dump it in to the San Jose side of the rink. On they go to the forecheck. Waters knocked it off his skate, rolls to the other side of the rink, picked up with a point and chipped to center where Chernyshov grabs it. Up ahead for Klimovich. His pass at a skate, ricochets to Berard, takes his time and shoots it in. Ben Berard, the newly named All-Star. To Klimovich, his shot goes wide, and that will ricochet all the way down to the left of Tolopilo, and off go both teams to the benches for wholesale line changes. Both coaches trying to get everybody involved early on. Almost 90 seconds in, no whistle yet as Kara leaves it to center. Cam bites, couldn't get there before Carlson. And the former Charlotte checker Carlson taps it towards the attacking line. Kara scoops it back up, leaves it for Jet Wu. Hard pass the other way, and here comes Poisson. Left wing, he fires it around the right side. Cam bites, stops it. Now he gets pressured, comes to the point for Mancini. He'll dump it down low. Off his left point is Jimmy Schultz. Kept it in for the moment with his left skate. Barracuda have it. Looking to clear. Huntington had it roll off his stick. Picks it back up, and now he's pressured from behind. Cam bites ties him up, but Huntington wins the battle. Sends it across the ice, and the Barracuda should have a clear lane to get it out as both teams change. Christian Felton, the defenseman, playing forward tonight. Out there right now with Waters and Walker. Chase Waters, the first forward to get double shifted as Tolopilo lost it behind his net. It comes to the left point now for Allen. Allen to Van Roboys. He'll cycle it down beneath the goal line. And now a chance for Van Roboys, and he risks one just wide of the glove of Tolopilo, who was screened. Canucks catch a break there as Van Roboys let it rip, nearly at his first of the season. Instead, he just missed the target. And the Barracuda work it back in. Almost 3 minutes into this first period, still no whistle. Everybody's had a shift now. Van Roboys battling down low against Mueller and Clayton. It comes to the left wing. Allen Drop pass, nobody's there, and Chernyshov hustles after his own blue line to get it. Top lines are out again for both sides. Clayton going back to pick it up in his own end of the rink. Over to Arnston. Backhand feed, missed everybody, but it gets to center. And Baines scoops it up, fires it to Lecker-Mackey, who plays it deep, and Carrier will stop it. No shots on either goaltender just yet. Here's Baines looking to change that. Drop pass, Lecker-Mackey, right wing wrist shot, that's blocked. Nice job by Haché to get in the way. Now Lecker-Mackey to Jet Wu, dumps it behind the net. Thompson grabs it. Mueller nearly stole it, but Thompson goes the other way. Plays it off the boards. Jet Wu with a nice pinch, kept it in for the moment. Now Cam Lund will slowly skate to center and find Chernyshov. All by himself in the Canucks zone. Chernyshov dumping it in, takes a big hit there. Slowly gets up, stays in the play as the Canucks break out to center. Berard missed the pass, and the first whistle of the game will be icing against the Abbotsford Canucks. Pretty decent back and forth action to kickstart things here. Almost went 4 minutes without a whistle. But Tolopilo and Carrier, the two netminders, yet to face a puck. And Nikita Tolopilo getting the start after being assigned from Vancouver on Wednesday night after the game in Vegas. He spent the last few weeks there, appeared in 3 games for the big club. Picked up a shared shutout alongside Kevin Lankin on January 27th against the Ducks, although Tolopilo played in 58 of those minutes. So it should be his shutout, but officially is shared between those two. Canucks trying to clear, and they'll have a chance to as the Barracuda back away. Kinishov to neutral ice, missed Berard, but they're going to wave off the icing as he's tied up. Now Carlson up the boards. Klimovich able to stop it. Couldn't get it towards an open teammate though as it came towards Wahlstrom, and he'll play it to some open ice at center. Now in the Canucks zone as Waters hammered down Haviland as he chopped it in. Now Mancini lost the puck to Afanasiev. Up ahead he finds Wahlstrom. Down the right wing to Cagnoni, the defenseman. He's pressured. Nice defense there from Schultz. Able to get it to center. And now Cagnoni's knocked off his skates by Berard. And Schultz dumps it in deep and starts to change. Schultz is double teamed off the puck. Barracuda have it behind their goal line. Allen. Middle of the ice feed to Huntington. Cross ice to the right wing. Cagnoni to center to Giles. He'll tap it towards Mancini, who gloves it down. Up ahead to Kara in the neutral zone. He'll dump it in. Poisson's after it on the forecheck. He ties up Allen. Cambite swings it around the wall. Clayton pinches, trying to keep it in, but Huntington skates it to center. He's got a man offside. The Barracuda have to tag up as a shot to center. Canucks didn't realize that the Barracuda were ahead of the play. Now it's dumped in the Canucks zone. Clayton trying to find Daschke. The Barracuda have it. Here's Huntington cycling it to the corner for Giles. The assistant captain, Patrick Giles, tied up along the boards. He goes to the ice. Now Felton trying to work it free. Comes back to Giles, who swings it down low. Now Clayton intercepts the puck behind his net. Plays it around the wall, and out it goes. Nice play by the former Barracuda defenseman, Cole Clayton. And the Canucks will get a fresh line out there as San Jose just iced it. Haché thought he had someone at the Canucks line, but everybody was changing. So both teams have exchanged icing calls, 14-11 to go. Starting in net for the Barracuda, Gabriel Carrier, the 24-year-old from Ottawa, picked up a win in his last start against the Wranglers on January 31st, stopping 22 of 24. But he didn't play a whole lot in January, just 4 appearances for him. And against Abbotsford this season, he is 1-0-1. Whereas Nikita Tolopilo has a regulation loss and an OT loss in his 2 starts against the Barracuda. The visitors win the faceoff. It's chipped all the way down towards Tolopilo, who had to be careful there. Houle was gaining on him. And Tolopilo sweeps it to Mueller. Here come the Canucks, 4 of them to center. Jet Wu down the right wing in the attacking zone. Chips it behind the net. Absorbs the check there from Carlson. Played up the wing. Arnston with a good pinch, knocks down Van Roboys. Now Lecker-Mackey to the point. Mueller to the right side for Wu. Looking through traffic, shovels it down low for Baines. Baines from the right corner, lost the handle. Now Van Roboys trying to get away from Lecker-Mackey. Baines has a stick in the way now. Van Roboys falls, so does Baines. Puck comes behind the net for Haviland, and he'll chip it off a stick and out. And that should allow both teams to change. 13:20 to go. Canucks still looking for their first shot on Carrier, while the Barracuda have just one on Tolopilo. Joe Arnston the other way to center. Berard one-hands it in deep. Waters after it against Haviland. Haviland up the corner, finds Beestead. And the Barracuda leading scorer fires it to center, but hit a stick. Cam Lund touches it in the attacking zone. Offside is waved off. And now Allen down the left wing will shoot it behind the net. Jimmy Schultz gets to it first out of the corner. Plays it up the wall, intercepted by Beestead. Now to the right point, Cagnoni dumps it down low. Back to the point, intercepted by Klimovich. Klimovich using some black tape tonight. Usually has white at the end of his blade. Now played around the boards. Beestead lost the puck. They're going to say icing is waved off, though, and that will allow both teams to go off. 12:30 to play first period. Not much happening yet as these two teams feel each other out still. Here's Poisson dumping it in. Hache up the wall, finds Thompson. He'll fire it ahead for Wahlstrom, the former New York Islander. Wahlstrom to the right wing in the Canucks zone for White. White turns on the brakes. Plays it to the point. Thompson through traffic, wrist shot. And that got blocked on its way through, and Cam Bites picks it up. He'll get it to neutral ice. Nice power move by Cam Bites. He'll shoot it off a body. Rolls to Hache. Into the corner, it goes for Kara. He'll tap it behind the net for Cam Bites. Cam Bites trying to feed the point. Colin White saw it coming and picked it off. White can't get away from Lecker Mackey, and he can't hold the blue line, though. He'll try and sort things out at center as both teams go to their benches again. 11:45 to go, still scoreless here in the first. Shots are 1-0 San Jose. Arshdeep Baines back out there, lost the puck at center. Barracuda dump it in, but Kanishov knocked it down with a high stick. And the whistle sounds, so should the buzzer for the media timeout. And there it is. Canucks are back home after a 3-game road trip. That did not go their way last week. They dropped all 3, which was a bit of a buzzkill after they left their last homestand on a 3-game winning streak. So they've swapped a 3-game win streak for a 3-game skid. But looking to stay hot here on home ice. They played very well over the last homestand, winning 3 games in a row. Got reinforcements from the big club after Vancouver's game in Vegas on Wednesday night. Lecker-Mackey, Tolopilo, Mancini sent back. So great news for Abbotsford and their fans. And I wonder if that allows these 3 to just play and not worry about call-ups during this Olympic break, because obviously nothing's going to happen until the NHL resumes. Because I'm sure that crosses these players' minds here in Abbotsford when they're down here, especially when they hear someone in Vancouver goes down to injury. But now for the next 2.5 weeks at least, they know there's no movement, nobody can go up, so can kind of just put that aside and worry about staying in the present. And right now, the Canucks and Barracuda are scoreless. Hey fans, you can get your online 50-50 right now by going to AbbotsfordCanucks5050.com. Again, that address is AbbotsfordCanucks5050.com. Must be 19 plus to play, and you must be in the province of BC when you purchase that ticket. Tonight's a milestone game for Jimmy Schultz, who on the Jumbotron right now is being recognized for playing in his 400th career AHL game. And pretty cool that it's coming against his former team in the Barracuda. He was a very popular teammate in San Jose. And Jimmy is the 66th American-born player to play 400 in the AHL as he gets a round of applause, even from some players on the Barracuda bench. So that just goes to show you what they think of their former teammate. As Jimmy gets set for a face-off at his own end. 11:34 to go. Kara going to take the face-off here against Patrick Giles. Kara wins the draw behind the net. Mancini able to find Cam Bites, and he'll shoot it to center off Poisson and into the San Jose bench. Hit him right in the leg, and the face-off will be at center. For the fans listening on the free audio feed, I heard before the game that FloHockey was having some issues with their network, and they were putting this game on for free on their YouTube channel. So I'm not sure if that's still the case, but might as well take a peek if you want to watch it for free on their YouTube channel right now. Canucks win the face-off at center. Mancini banks it the other way. Cam Bites didn't get a piece. This will be an icing call. So after not getting a whistle for the first almost 4 minutes, we've had a bunch of stoppages now over the last minute. No scoring chance really for either team. I would say if I had to pick one, Chernyshov on his first shift got behind the defense, it looked like, but at the last second, Cole Clayton reached out and poked it off his stick. But It did not hit Tolopilo for a shot. Kara wins another face-off. Mancini behind his net to Schultz. Schultz tried to pass. It was blocked by Giles. Comes back to Schultz, and he'll backhand it to center. Puck loose for Poisson. He'll guide it ahead for Cam Bites in the San Jose zone, but Havilland cuts it off and stops behind his net. Havilland to Carlson. Nice pass to center. Now it could be a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Here's Giles in on goal. He shoots and it gets stopped by Tolopilo. There's the game's best chance. And it came off a stretch pass. Now the Canucks the other way. It's Baines trying to get behind the defense. Baines, one-handed shot. Glove save, Carrier. Oh, what a great last-ditch effort by Baines just to reach forward at the last second. Got it on net, and Carrier had to be sharp there. Or else it was 1-0 Abbotsford as both teams in a matter of seconds trade chances. Still scoreless now as the pace starting to pick up a bit here. Puck is in the Canucks zone. Here is Van Rooijboy's behind the goal line. Able to find a wide open Vincent who rips one off a leg and it bounces out to center. Canucks trying to get a change in as the Barracuda dump it in. They go off as well, so that should allow Jet Wu to stop with it behind his net, which is what he does right now. Halfway through this first period, still scoreless. Shots are 3-1 Barracuda. Here's Arnston dumping it in, gloved in the San Jose end by Hache. Try to backhander, but it hit the referee, and the Canucks pick it up. Here's Waters down low for Klimovich. His backhander denied by Carrier. Oh, another good chance, and now Waters steers the shot just wide as he took it off his shin pad to his stick. Second assist would have went to the linesman there as Waters picks off a pass, and he was knocked off the puck at the last second. Now Klimovich spins one off the side of the net. Fans sitting behind the goal thought it was in for a second. Good shift here from Waters, Berard, and Klimovich as Van Rooijboy is able to flick the puck to center. The Canucks regroup. Both teams looking to go off when they can. Berard plays it in for Klimovich, and he nearly knocked it down and got around Thompson. Now he picks it up and throws it in front. Kara stops it behind the net, looking for a man open. Kara, backhand feet to the slot. It comes down to the point for Kanishov. Over to the left wing, Poisson, wrist shot, blocker save, Carrier. Now the rubber's starting to hit the netminder. Now Kara, over to the wing for Klimovich. He overskates it. Beasted trying to get away from Kara down low, and he does beautifully. And now at the point, Jimmy Schultz knocked down his man, but getting back up to grab it is Lund, who's on a 5-game point streak, and Lund in front of the Canucks bench lost the handle. And Poisson backhands it in, looking to find Cam Bites. Now Havilland leaving it for Beasted. He'll take it around the net. Beasted working on Mueller. Beasted to center, nice move, but then he lost it. And Mancini dumps it down, icing's waved off. 8:20 to go, first period. Shots even at 3 aside, and it is 0-0. Carlson with a high flick to center. Bounces one to the Canucks line for White now. Canucks come back hard to pick it up, and Mueller clears it to center for Lecker-Mackey. Down the left wing, Lecker-Mackey takes a shot, stick save, Carrier, rebound, Baines, put off the side of the net. Baines now to the left point, stolen by Afanasiev. He'll go 2-on-2 through center and play it in deep. Mancini, shoulder on shoulder with Wahlstrom. Puck goes to the corner for White. Under pressure, and Baines steals it, and he'll chip it off the glass and out. Puck rolling to the goal line, not enough for icing, and both teams head to the bench with under 8 minutes to go. Cagnoni to neutral ice. Giles with a nice move to get around Walker, and now he's tied up in the Canucks end. Walker comes back to fetch it. Under some pressure, leaves it, and the Canucks play past the center. Felton to Kara, down the right wing. Kara to Daschke, who pokes it down low. Daschke looking for his first AHL goal, gets hit, falls down, and now he's racing back in his own end to help defensively. Meanwhile, Huntington goes offside, so he doesn't have to. And the whistle sounds with 7 to go. So the Canucks with a couple of good chances to get on the board. The first one is Baines, who one-handed one while being pressured from behind. Carrier reached out with his glove to get a piece. And then Klimovich, a few shifts after, had a chance in tight, which was denied by Carrier. Here's the chance by Giles just before the Baines opportunity. And here's the chance from Baines if you're watching at home. Look at this little one-handed effort just to protect it away from the defender at the last second. And nearly made the Barracuda pay. Off the face-off, the Canucks have it. Wu towards the Cuda line where Allen picks it up. Allen, backhand feed to Houle, and he'll chip it down, icing his way off as Van Roboy's got a piece. It comes to the crease to Tolopilo, and he's taking no chances, and now some rough stuff between Arnston and Vincent. These two guys are known to drop the gloves, and the officials get between them. And Joe Arnston, who got in a scrap last Friday in Bakersfield just when he got the bubble taken off, after his spirited bout with Ty Thorpe here on home ice on January 20th, wore the bubble for a few games and then got back into a scrap when the visor came back on last weekend, and nearly went right there with former Chilliwack Chief Anthony Vincent. No penalties from either side just yet. Both teams have good power play. San Jose's got the second best man advantage in the league. The Canucks have the second best man advantage on home ice. 6:56 to go. Face off to the right of Tolopilo. Barracuda win it back. Allen, left wing, turns away from pressure. Opens up with the blue line, takes his shot. That hit a body and goes wide. Looks like it glanced off Walker. Now in the slot. Puck is chipped towards Felton, and he'll knock it ahead in the Barracuda zone with his line mates changing. Berard and Waters step on. Now Felton goes to the bench. And while that was going on, the Barracuda fire it back in. Mancini lost the puck. Sharp angle shot by Beestead, hit the side of the goal. Now battle for it in the corner. Chernyshov to Beestead. Lost it. Klimovich stole it from behind. Nice defensive play. And here come the Canucks 3-on-2. Berard, Klimovich, Waters shoots and he fanned on it. Had a chance on the left wing, but the puck wouldn't cooperate. Waters gets it back. Nice pass to Mancini. Wide open shot. Hit the post. What a chance. Mancini beats Carrier, but off the pipe it goes. Great setup from the Canucks captain, and now Mancini fires it over the glass for a whistle. And a great catch by someone in the crowd, which gets the appreciation of everybody here in the rink. Buzzer sounds. The final media timeout is underway. And Mancini a post away from making it a 1-0 game. So the Canucks have had 3 good looks from Baines, Klimovich, and now Mancini. And just before that chance from Victor, Chase Waters on the left wing couldn't get the puck to settle. Fanned on it, but stayed with it up that left boards and found Mancini activating off his right point. And he almost had his second goal in as many home games, but the post had other ideas. So Giles had the best chance for San Jose, while the Canucks have now had 3 pretty good looks on Carrier. Fans, AHL hits harder on FloHockey. Every game, every goal, every hit, all season long. AHL TV on FloHockey gives you access to every AHL game. Watch your team, follow top prospects, and stay on top of all the action on the ice. Subscribe now to stream it all live on AHL TV on FloHockey. Speaking of Victor Mancini, he caught up with Chris Faber on the Canucks Insider podcast in late January. Had a good conversation, did those two. And I will roll parts of that interview during the first intermission. Victor always insightful and engaging, great to talk to. And he's probably at the bench kicking himself right now after that opportunity, but nice heads-up play to find some open ice on the pass from Waters, but just ripped it off the post. And Mancini on his last call-up played in 1 game, which was against the parent club of the Barracuda, the San Jose Sharks. He logged over 17 minutes in that game and suited up 5 games total in January with the big club. And like I mentioned, the last time he played for Abbotsford was here on January 25th, and he scored a goal. 5:58 left, first period. 0-0 score, face-off about to happen at center. Kara, Cambites, and Poisson are out there against the 4th line of the Barracuda. Then Roboys, Vincent, and Houle. And the centermen just aren't lining up correctly. A couple times now they've gotten a warning. Now the puck's dropped and Kara wins it back. Clayton will dump it over the center ice line and takes a hit from Houle. And now Houle will chip it the other way to center. Nice job by Kara to knock it free to Knyshov. Knyshov with a high flip, and the San Jose
rink, but he did it before the center ice line, and icing is the call. So 3 Abbey Canuck defensemen have all played for the Barracuda at one point in their careers, including Knishoff, Schultz, and Cole Clayton, who was in the Kiefer Sherwood deal a few weeks ago. So those 3 taking on a lot of former teammates. 5:39 to go. This was Clayton's first year as a member of the Barracuda, and then was traded, as I mentioned, not too long ago. Barracuda win the face-off. Haviland battling Poisson, gets help from Afanasiev, who dumps it down low. Out of the corner, Wahlstrom taps it for Afanasiev, but nice defense there from Knishoff, frees it up, and Poisson gets it to center. Here's Jujhar Khaira down the left wing. Lost the puck to Colin White on the back check. Canucks are changing as Wahlstrom brings it through center. His pass blocked by the stick of Baines, comes back to Wahlstrom, and he'll feed it to his goaltender and change. Just over 5 minutes to go, first period. Puck played to center. Wahlstrom leaves it for Afanasiev. Down the right wing. Afanasiev in front. Puck is in the slot, and a shot is steered aside by Tolopilo on Carlson. Now Giles will backhand it behind the net. Arnston up the wall, kept in by Cagnoni. Cagnoni with a quick pass towards Huntington. Couldn't get around Baines, and Mueller swipes it the other way. Good defense there from Baines and Mueller. Couple of 200-foot forwards for Manny Malhotra, playing all situations. And now Baines and Lekermacki peel off to the bench for a change. 4:30 to go, first period, still scoreless. Shots even at 4 aside. Cagnoni coughed it up at center. Berard trying to get it towards Klimovich, but Cagnoni got it back. Huntington, meanwhile, plays it to the Abbotsford corner for Giles. Around the net, picked up by Arnston. Arnston makes a nice play to Klimovich, and he'll get it to center for Berard. Jet Wu will go after it on the forecheck as Berard takes a spill after playing it in. Now the Barracuda looking to break out. Huntington jams it to center. Jimmy Schultz picks it up, takes his time, finds Waters. Lost the puck, and all of a sudden Giles is off to the races. Wrist shot, and Wu got a piece of it just before he could let it go. Or I should say in the midst of letting it rip. Now Ben Berard deep in his own end takes a hit to the corner. Trying to find an open teammate. He lost the handle. Comes to the point. Now stolen in the slot. Now played to neutral ice. Here's Waters. Schultz going to the net. Waters to Schultz, and the pass is too far ahead. Now Klimovich, left point, passes Mancini. His shot goes wide. Off the ricochet, Schultz couldn't control it. Beestead does. And Beestead clears it out to center. Giles shoots it in deep. 3:20 to go, first period. Felton around the boards for Mancini. Mancini to center for Khaira, and he will dump it in. Carrier sees Walker gaining on him, has to make a quick decision, and makes a pass to Carlson. He'll try to clear, finds Beestead. Cross ice feed to center on the tape of Lund. Working on Mancini. Lund lost the handle behind the net as he ran into Khaira, and here come the Canucks the other way, led by Mancini. Left wing pass, Walker dumps it in. Canucks change with 2:45 to go. Still 0-0. Here's Haviland to center for Carlson. Carlson to Lund, who'll backhand it in towards Tolopilo. The goaltender wraps it around the boards. Stolen by the Barracuda. Chernyshov behind the net, played in front. Lekermacki, good positioning, able to steal. And he'll bank it off the wall all the way down. Ends up in the crease of Carrier, and he's forced to cover with Baines right in front of him. 25 go. This is the 5th meeting in the season series, and right now it favors San Jose with 3 wins to Abbotsford's 1. And grabbed 2 of their wins in their home rink on November 21st and 22nd. And half of the head-to-head meetings have gone beyond 60 minutes, so it's been close, especially the last 3 times they've played. And close right now at 0-0. Waters, Berard, and Klimovich out there against the White trio. And the back official didn't like how the wingers are lined up. Waters wins the face-off. Here's Clayton dumping it to the corner. Waters gets there first for Abbotsford. Takes it around the net on his backhand. Ran out of room as Allen took it away. Now those two tie up in the corner. Berard watching closely. Ends up behind the net for Klimovich, in front for Berard, and stuffed aside by the left pad of Carrier. And Cagnoni will wheel it to center all by himself. Lost the puck to Khaira. He'll feed it out to center. He just missed Berard. And the Canucks go off as Van Roboys plays pass in his own end with Allen. Under 2 minutes to go, first period. Here's Van Roboys. And a big hit there as Schultz knocked him down, and that'll draw a crowd. Vincent wants to fight, and now we got a scrum ensuing with a delayed call underway. I'm not sure if that's going against Schultz or maybe Vincent, as Van Roboys is now after Cambites. What a big hit that was by Jimmy Schultz, who lined up Van Roboys on the right wing blue line. And so the first penalties are going to be handed out, or might just be penalty. Looked like a clean hit. And I wonder if the official's going to call the retaliation. Look at that. Schultz throws down Van Roboys, who had his head down, and that was clean shoulder on shoulder. And my gut tells me this is going to San Jose. Vincent was the first one in there, which you see a lot of the time after a big hit. And yes, Vincent, the only player getting a roughing call. So a late power play for Abbotsford. I mentioned they got the second-ranked man advantage on home ice, operating at 30%. And they're taking on a PK that's ranked 25th. So Baines is out there with Mueller, Lecker-Mackey, Waters, and Mancini. Canucks looking for a late one. Jimmy Schultz having a good game which is a milestone for him, number 400. And he's watching his team line up at the right face-off circle in the San Jose end. Waters going to take the draw against Huntington. Canucks overall in the power play department are 7th. Huntington wins it to the corner. Thompson around his net, has a lane to clear, and Thompson shoots it to center for Lund, who gets checked off the puck beautifully by Mancini. And the Canucks begin the power play breakout. Mancini looking for a drop pass, and he finds Lecker-Mackey. Leads the team in goals. Lecker-Mackey for Mueller along the wing, under pressure and dumped all the way down by Lund. Good start to this PK. Barracuda hoping this carries over into the second. Here's Victor Mancini. Another drop pass. This time it'll be Baines to the neutral zone. Over to Lecker-Mackey, back to Baines. Left wing feed out of the reach of Mueller. Giles will take it to center. Could be a 3-on-2 rush as Allen follows up and brings it in. Here comes with a chance. He shoots one, stopped by Tolopilo. Last minute of play, first period, and the Canucks still yet to set up as both teams change. Kara, Klimovich, and Berard jump on as Mancini hangs on to it behind his net. Canucks looking for a cleaner entry. Mancini to center, missed Kara. Puck goes in the Barracuda zone, and this will be icing. So with 33 seconds left, the Canucks will go all the way back for a D-zone draw. And I'm sure Harry Mahesh, who runs the power play, grinding his teeth, you'd think, on the bench. This is not the way he wanted his team's first power play to go, but give credit to the PK of San Jose, who's made life tough on the power play personnel so far. Shot 6-5 for Abbotsford, as Kara will take the draw here against Huntington. Barracuda win it. Here's a one-timer, and Tolopilo kicks out that blast by Hache. Danila Klimovich to the right wing for Cambites. He'll dump it in. Klimovich is after it. Time running out. The Canucks will set it up on the left wing. Kara to the right side for Berard. 10 seconds left. Berard shoots. It gets blocked. Comes back to the slot for Berard. On his knees, makes a pass. Klimovich's shot is blocked. 2 seconds left, and that'll do it. The Barracuda with an outstanding PK. We'll have 13 seconds left to kill in the second as Hache grabs a hold of Klimovich. And now both teams giving each other face washes. Beasted puts Kara in a headlock. Cambites didn't like that. And now Cambites and Beasted are going to drop the gloves. Cambites throws the helmet off of Beasted, who wants nothing to do with this, I don't think. And Cambites isn't going to throw a punch. That's a veteran play right there. He saw Beasted in a difficult spot and looked like he didn't want to fight. And we'll see if there's any penalties out of this. You would think so. And this all stemmed after Hache grabbed Klimovich, who was going back towards the bench. And now Haché having a chat with Cam Bites. Haché standing up for his team's leading scorer. And there's a bit of a yard sale on the ice. Gloves and sticks everywhere, including Beasted's helmet. And this will really set the tone for the second, you would think. Haché going after the Canucks bench now. Klimovich having words with him. So keep an eye on that, folks. Haché not happy with Cam Bites as the temperature rises after 20 minutes. Nothing to report in the goals department, but boy, our temper's flaring right now. The Canucks were supposed to start the second on a quick power play for 13 more seconds, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. And Haché is just getting a penalty here. He just got dimed up. He got 10. He is not letting this go. And he will not be able to fight anyone for the first 10 minutes of the second period because he will be in the box. Boy, was he hot. He wanted Cam Bites and then Klimovich and I think maybe Waters as well, who was trying to play peacemaker. So these officials will have to stay out here for the next few minutes, you would think, to try to sort everything out. So Waters and White, the two veterans, will hang out and get the official verdict. So my guess, Cam Bites will probably get a penalty for Abbotsford. Haché, we know, got 10 minute misconduct. We'll see if he gets a minor as well. And I wonder if Beasted might get something for his participation with Cam Bites, although he didn't throw a punch as he still had his gloves off and got his helmet ripped off from Dino Cam Bites. So Cam Bites does have 2 minutes on the clock. So I think 13 seconds into the second, San Jose will get an abbreviated power play. But we'll just double check here as the officials are heading off for their 18-minute break. All right, so the summary in the first looks like this. No goals to report. The Canucks did have 3 good chances. Mancini hit a post. Baines had a one-hander in tight, and Klimovich also denied in tight a carrier. Both teams had 6 shots apiece. Abbotsford had the only power play. It looks like they'll be 0 for 1. Shots on goal leader, leading the way with 2 for Abbotsford is Lecker Mackey, and with 2 for San Jose, Jack Thompson. So we almost went the first 4 minutes without a whistle, and then had a bunch of whistles from the 7-minute mark to the 11-minute mark, and then a lot more flow for the remainder of the second period. And then the rough stuff really picked up late between Cam Bites, Beasted, and Haché. And it looks like Cam Bites is getting the extra 2 out of all that, but Haché did get a 10-minute misconduct. So we also saw a big hit from Jimmy Schultz, which drew the first power play of the game. And all in all, pretty solid back half of that period, and we'll see if things remain spicy when the puck drops in just over 17 minutes time. Out-of-town scoreboard is a busy one on this Friday. Let's look at some Pacific Division action. Henderson leading Coachella Valley 1-0 after 20. Bakersfield also 1-0 lead over Ontario going to the second. Colorado 3-2 lead over Chicago after 40 minutes. Tucson is beating Calgary 5-3 at the end of 2 periods. And some finals to pass your way. Texas at home beats Manitoba 2-1. Iowa 5-2 winners over Rockford. Laval 5-4 overtime win over Cleveland. Utah needed a shootout to beat Bridgeport 2-1. Syracuse knocking out Belleville 5-3. Charlotte shuts out Grand Rapids 3-0. Providence 3-1 win over Hartford. Rochester 4-0 victory over Springfield. And the Penguins beat Lehigh Valley 6-5 on the road. All right, let's get to the interview with Chris Faber and Victor Mancini. It's another edition of the Canucks Insider Podcast. And it was a great conversation between Chris and Victor. And Chris chatted with Mancini about the hockey season, life on the West Coast, the Calder Cup run, and much more. So without further ado, here is Chris Faber and Victor Mancini.
Hello, Canucks fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Canucks Insider Podcast. My name is Chris Faber, and this week we are joined by a second-year pro who won a Calder Cup with the Abbotsford Canucks last season. He was selected in the 5th round of the 2025 NHL entry draft. Victor Mancini is our guest on the pod. Welcome back to the podcast. I think last time, kind of in the middle of the playoff run that you guys had out there in Abbotsford, but welcome back to the pod. How's How's it been going for you getting set up this season? Because a lot different than last year where you start in New York and you're bouncing around, you get traded. You're a West Coaster now. What's it been like to kind of just start the season like that?
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been enjoying it. It's been nice to be here right from training camp, right, and see what that's like. And just being in Vancouver and in Abbey too, just kind of explore and get settled a little bit, find some nice restaurants. It's been fun.
Yeah. What's the best part about that? Like when you start to actually explore a city and start to see certain things that you like what have you enjoyed about just Vancouver or Abbotsford? Both have some cool spots around it. Like I think about like what it's like at Abbotsford when you're driving out to that rink and like the mountains in the back. Like, I don't know, that's gotta be hard to beat just for like a view and like the drive to work.
Yeah. It's a really cool view. I think just being a foodie, I love going and finding good restaurants, good coffee shops, off days, just being able to walk around, even if it's in the rain, right? And just find some cool places, and especially Vancouver, right? The city's got so many things you can do, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, are you a big seafood guy, or is that something that you have to kind of adopt when you come to Vancouver, or what?
Yeah, I mean, the sushi, right? You can't beat it here, but seafood, especially Italian, with my family, so good Italian spots.
Is there a dish that you ever, like, you see it on the menu and every time you have to order it? Like, do you have one that sticks out compared to the rest?
Usually for me, it's chicken parm.
Yeah,
especially like day before a game.
Right.
You can never go wrong with some chicken parm.
Well, and that's hard because every Italian restaurant has a chicken parm. So, like,
exactly,
you just, like,
put their own little twist on it. So,
No, I remember when I was in Italy for our honeymoon, like, we would order... After like 3 days of going around Italy, like we just started ordering like 3 mains everywhere you went, because like you had to try different stuff, but it was like you always had to get the carbonara or like chicken parm and everything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you haven't been to Italy, right?
I went when I was 14, I think, with my parents. And we were there for a couple weeks. That was really fun. Toured around to a few different cities, and then my dad's side of the family is Italian, and they're from a little city, I want to say an hour outside of Rome. So we actually went to this little town. There's still like a Mancini's fish market. We're not in like contact, but those are distant relatives, right? So that was pretty cool to see.
That's cool. And it's obviously probably somewhere you want to get back to. I assume now that you're a little bit older and like get to kind of plan it yourself. That's cool. What was it like when you see your name on some of these stuff? Like, you know that this is the same when you go there in the Mancini fish market or whatever the market's there. Like that's gotta be kind of weird to show up and see.
It's a little surreal, right? Because you're like, okay, well, there's still, a Mancini presence in this little town, and you're related to it, but you don't know them. And there was like a cemetery there in the city, and we saw, there are Mancini's there too. And so just kind of cool to trace your heritage back to that area and the people that came before you. So pretty cool.
Definitely. And I mean, like, maybe it would have been an off-season thing for you to do, but you had a pretty long summer of actually playing hockey, going into the Calder Cup. What was it like having, I have to assume this is probably the shortest like off-season you had. And I talked with a lot of guys, especially at your age, where these off-seasons can be so impactful in your development, whether it's like building muscle or just getting, working on some stride or anything that you wanted to kind of address in the off season. But talking to some guys like Max and guys who had that long playoff run, they said like that was such a big learning experience just for yourself as a pro. Like, is that the same way that you look at it? Just like maybe not getting so much time to work on your body in the off season, but just experiencing playoff hockey. How much did that do for you?
Absolutely. I mean, that training in the off season is very important, but for me, and like a lot of guys, like you say, at that time, it was really good for us to play those hard games, meaningful, just in the playoffs, just kind of the weight of those games and how hard the grind is. That was really, really important for me and just my development as a pro.
I have to imagine that first year for you must have been almost difficult to kind of track how you're developing. Like you bounced through the Rangers and down to the AHL with them, and then Abbotsford and here, then the long playoff. Like, you kind of experienced like so many different levels, so many different coaches. Like that, to do that in your rookie season, how do you look back at that year and just think like how the experience really was, just in terms of like growing as a rookie, like seeing what it's like to be in pro hockey? That's a lot going on in first year.
In the moment, there's a lot of times where you're just like, this is pure chaos sometimes, but looking back, I played for 4 teams in 1 year. Everything that I went through, the games, played with some great teammates. Like, I look back and there's so many good memories and things that I can, look back on and be like, that helped me out, now and moving forward.
Right. And to get like so much NHL experience in your first year, and you had the Rangers, you played with Vancouver. I'm wondering how much that helps guide you in an off season, or kind of like to get it in your first year of pro, how does that sort of help guide you in development? And obviously you're a young guy who's learning this league, and, you know, playing so many NHL games so young and early into your pro career must really help you maybe at like the AHL level too, when you're working on your game there. Like, how much do you take away from just the NHL experience in terms of like where you want to grow your game right now?
I think just knowing where I kind of stand when I'm in the NHL, right? And seeing, you know, what I want my game to be at that level, and the things that I need to work on. And, you know, when I'm in the American League, making sure that, you know, I'm playing there the way I want to play at the NHL level, right? And play to what is expected of me. So
yeah, no, and I've noticed that in your game, right? Like, you're a guy who likes to take advantage when the opportunity presents itself to get some offense and get that going. And a little different sometimes in the AHL, the NHL with the competition that you're up against. But like, I think it's been interesting to watch you develop that at the NHL level and bring it, because big guy like yourself, a lot of them kind of stick back and be the defensive guys. And I know that's a big part of your game as well. But what is it like at the NHL level when you see an opportunity for offense compared to the AHL? Like, I think that must be an interesting learning curve, because I feel like you can get away with a little bit more in the AHL.
Yeah, it's a little different. You know, I feel like this year I've started to maybe calm my game down a little bit more on the offensive side, and to speak what you said, you know, kind of take the opportunities when they're given to me and not force opportunities.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of just playing the game in front of you, right? And, you know, playing with good players. They're going to make good plays, and if you put yourself in the right spots, those opportunities will come.
Yeah, and the young guys that we've had on the pod have talked so much about like how different it is for someone your age playing in that many games, what you learn in a game compared to like a Tyler Myers who's got hundreds and, you know, over 1,000 games. Like, how different is it for you when you like come back out from a game and you have to look back and like are looking at what you can improve on? Like, it must be so much to take in just from like not having even, you know, more, just over 40 games for yourself in the NHL. Like, you must take away so much from one of these games right now in your career.
Yeah, it depends on the game and the situation, right? But there's, you know, I always want to reflect and learn after every game I play. I'm usually a pretty tough grader on myself after games too, so it allows me to improve. And guys like Mizey, like you said, like how many games they've played and the knowledge they have, it's really good to learn from them too.
Yeah, and Marcus Pettersson, I think, has been your most consistent defense partner here at the NHL level this season. How much do you take away from a guy like that? He was just on the podcast last week, so just, you know, kind of hearing about how he's been dealing with this season and trying to work with some of the young guys. The thing that he said was like, he loves how the young guys are just like so willing to learn, especially this group of guys with yourself and Tom and DPD and Zeev and these young guys. Like, it must be fun to be able to have these veterans around to like really, you can ask them anything, right? I have to assume that you guys it can be hockey, it can be non-hockey. It must be cool for you guys. Like, what's it like with Marcus in the room kind of helping you develop here?
It's very fun. You know, you want someone like that to be in your corner, to be in your ear, to help you out. And yeah, to go off what you said, I think like the younger D-Corps and I, you know, we're really eager to learn. We want to be able to learn and grow and help this team. And you know, guys like Marcus allow us to just build game after game, right? And also just his communication on the ice as well. He makes it really easy to play with out there, right? He's always helping you out. So.
Yeah, and it must kind of like to the other end of this, like there's so many of you young guys kind of going through it together. It must be kind of cool to like, you know, go through that struggle a little bit together and like grow together. That must be fun to watch, like when you're actually in the room with these other kids who are, you know, similar age to you, and you're all improving. You're all seeing what this is like. That, like, how do you put that into words, just going through it with some other young guys on a defense corps?
That's also fun as well. I think just the energy we bring and, you know, how much fun we love to have on the ice. You know, we're smiling. We want to be on the ice. We want to get better. And I've said this before, I think there's like a great amount of respect between us that, you know, we're all in it together. We know we all want to grow and play at this level, and to play together, it's been really cool.
Yeah, and Kevin Dean, who coaches the defense, like I've talked to him, he's done this podcast before, and he really enjoys working with the young defensemen. What's it been like for you to get a guy like that who's worked with so many young defensemen over the years and really enjoys kind of teaching you guys what it's like to be pros and like to understand what it's like to be an NHLer and what it takes to be an NHLer? What's your relationship like with Kevin Dean, and what's it been like just working with him this season?
It's been great. I think, you know, he really has a passion for coaching, and that comes out when he's helping the D-Corps and the young guys, me, just continue to grow into who we want to be at the NHL level, right? And I think someone like him, where he's always wanting to dissect your game. And I think he has this mindset of, no matter what happens, right? Like, even if you make a good play, it's like, what can you do better, right? Yeah. And just holding the D-core to that high standard, I think, is really important.
With the coaching staff that has so many NHL games, like, it must be fun to hear some of the stories from these guys. Like, the teams that Footy was on, Dean, his first year, he wins a Calder Cup and a Stanley Cup. Like, he's on the roster for both these things. Like, it must be cool as a hockey guy yourself who comes from a hockey family. Like, hear some of these stories must be pretty fun too.
Absolutely. I think just the experience that they bring, right, and the careers that they've had, that's something that you look up to, right, and that's something you want to have. So it's really cool. And then, obviously I wasn't alive, but just being from Detroit and that whole Red Wings versus Colorado rivalry and Footy being a part of that, that's I always had that in my mind right before I came here. So cool to kind of pick his brain on that too.
Well, I did mention Kevin Dean, he wins Calder Cup his first year. You do that in your first year pro. So we'll talk about it just a little bit here, this run that you guys had, and watching his team come together, the way that the regular season ended for Abbotsford and the big winning streak near the end of the year, and then to go on that run and experience everything in the playoffs. Like, just tell me about that experience of actually getting to the point where you win a championship. Everything comes together and the team just blends to the perfect recipe and you win a championship. Like, what was the biggest takeaway for seeing what it takes to win a championship when you see this team come together?
There's so many things that go into it, right? It's hard to really boil it down to one thing, but we had great leadership. We had great coaching, and we had guys that wanted to do it for each other. I think was a really big thing. We didn't care who scored, who got the points. We just wanted to keep stacking wins and move on to the next round. And just throughout the whole process, how much fun we had too, just off the ice, the dinners, the practices. I think how close we were as a team. The playoffs, yes, it's a long grind. The games are hard, they're physical, but looking back, those 2 months seemed like they flew by. Looking back, right, just because of how much fun we had.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the thing that we saw really throughout the whole season with that team, was your guys' willingness to just get in front of every single puck. And you could see it to the last second of you guys actually winning the Calder Cup, just scrambling, blocking everything. And Manny talked about that so much for the playoffs, about, it wasn't something that he had to ask from you guys to block shots. If you more that you guys, the way that you guys blocked shots and closed out lanes, it felt like everyone would throw a face in front of the puck if they had to, right? That must have been really cool to have such buy-in from the group that I just noticed throughout that whole playoff, throughout the whole season, but especially in the playoffs. It felt like the team was bought into the same principle throughout, and that really drove you guys to the final.
Yeah, I agree. I think just sacrifice, right? It's a big word to move through those rounds and win a Calder, right? Just laying your body on the line. Like I said before, we're going to do whatever we can to do for the team, right? We don't care. It's a very selfless mindset.
Yeah, right? No, it was incredible to watch and to actually be out there in Abbotsford. I've asked a few of the guys this, just the experience, because I felt it from the press box. What was it like being there, on the ice, when you're seeing that crowd? That crowd was going nuts. You guys taking to the ice, and just the atmosphere was so cool. What's it like as a player to get those, when you get some of these big goals or just everything that happens in that arena? It felt like it must have been so fun for you guys on the ice. How do you describe what it was like?
It was incredible. Yeah, it's hard to put into words what it was like right after a goal. I think just how knowledgeable the fans are, right? It's not just a goal or a big save, right? It's a hit. It's a good defensive play. They're cheering, they're giving us that energy, and we definitely fed off that for sure.
There he is, Victor Mancini on the Canucks Insider Podcast. And you can find the Canucks Insider Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast app. The video version is available on Canucks YouTube page, and you can find more info at canucks.com/podcast. And yeah, Mancini's always a great interview. And he's honest, provides great insight. He comes from a great family. His dad, Bob, his aunt, and girlfriend, I met those three in Charlotte last year in the Calder Cup Finals, and they were great to chat with. His aunt's a big hockey fan, lives in Nashville and works in the radio industry. And how about Bob? He's been a hockey lifer. Quite the extensive resume and history in coaching, as he was an assistant at Lake Superior State and Ferris State in the mid-'80s, was a head coach of Michigan Tech for 4 years in the 90s, and then the late 90s, latched on with USA Hockey, was an assistant in the World Juniors, World Championships, under 18s, and then turned pro. And then turned pro in the year 2000, was a scout for the Edmonton Oilers. Held that post for 4 years, then went to the OHL and was the GM and head coach of Saginaw for 3 years, then went back to Edmonton to be a scout. And then things got really interesting for Bob as he went to South Africa, coached there for 4 years. And then in 27-18, he goes to Detroit and coaches Compier under 16. So quite the well-traveled resume of Bob Mancini as we are back underway from Abbotsford. And it's 4-on-4 for the next 7 seconds. And then the Barracuda will get their first power play of the game, as Christian Felton is serving the extra 2 that Dino Cambites picked up. So the Barracuda now on the power play, still scoreless as they regroup through center. Wahlstrom ran into his own man. The Canucks say thank you very much, and Jimmy Schultz rips one all the way down the rink. So there's a miscommunication there. 40 seconds gone off the penalty already. We'll catch you up on those penalties at the next break as the Barracuda having issues breaking in. Cooper Walker stole it and just missed Baines, and now gets it back to Walker and backhands it all the way down. And here come the Barracuda through center. Afanassiev to the right side. Halttunen back to Afanassiev. His pass hit the shin pad of Mueller. And now it's played to the other side of the rink for White. Barracuda looking to set up at the point. It's shot down to the corner. Canucks applying some pressure here, shorthanded. Battle for the puck comes to the boards, and Abbotsford fishing for it. Nice hold there with one hand by White, but now stolen by Mueller, and he plays it all the way down with 35 seconds left. So both teams' power plays on the first opportunity having issues setting up. The PKs have come to play so far this evening. Now Baines battling with Walker for it. Picked up by Halton, and Walker nearly stole it. Now it comes back to Halton, and he ripped one over the head of Tolopilo. 15 seconds left on this power play. Second unit's out there for San Jose. Huntington for Lund. Behind the net. Up the right side. Kept to the outside. Now played towards the slot. Puck rolling, and Mancini finds Walker. He'll dump it down, and that'll do it. Felton steps out of the box. Both teams out for one on the power play. No shots there for San Jose. And now Felton out of the corner. Tied up from behind. Played up the wing, stolen by Cam Lund. He'll bring it through center and dump it in the Canucks zone. Halttunen around the corner. Pass hits Schultz to come to the point. Allen to Cagnoni, one-timer blocked by Walker. Make that Felton. Now Schultz taking to the boards. Kara trying to help out his defenseman. He's able to come away with the puck. Puck finds Jet Wu. Poisson in the neutral zone for Felton. Down the right wing, he hits the deck. Gets back up and tries to fish it free. Almost 3 minutes into the second period, still 0-0. Baines, after a short rest, comes back out as Jet Wu flicks it behind the net for Baines. Baines in front, but nobody's there except Houle. Baines trying to get it back as Houle plays it out to the line. Nice hold by Mueller. One hand down low to Baines, cuts in front. Baines backhander scores! What a play by Mueller. In desperation, held it in with one hand on a stick in the blue line. Fed it down to Baines, who took it harder than that, and he backhands one home. And Arshdeep Baines, 2 points away from the franchise record, all-time points. He's got Linus Karlsson in his sights. And tonight, he just opened the scoring on a great setup from Mueller. And this game finally has a goal in the second period. And it's Baines with his 6th of the year. Mueller will get the only assist. Great job holding in at the blue line and firing it back down to Baines. Those two are just dogs on a bone. They would not allow the Barracuda to clear it a couple of times, and on that second opportunity, it came back to bite them. So 1-0 Canucks. Here's Berard. Wide open pass. Arnston throws it in front, and that was just tipped off the pad from Waters cutting through the slot. Now Waters behind the net. Try to pass, that was blocked. Afanassiev will pick it up and look to skate the other way, and here he comes. Halton into the right wing. Can't connect with Wahlstrom. Thrown behind the net. Mancini picks it off. Over to Arnston. Arnston through the neutral zone. Will backhand it off a body across the line as Mueller, Lekkerimäki, and Baines are back out for Manny Malhotra. Baines ties it up on the right wing. Puck comes loose for Chernyshov. Chernyshov to center. Blocked down by Mueller. Now the Canucks pass through center. Mueller down the right wing. Head up, wrist shot. That went wide of the blocker. Lekkerimäki has it. He'll chip it off the boards and out. That hit the netting. Whistle sounds with 15-13 to go. 3:13 is 6 from Mueller. And that is career point 146. The all-time franchise lead, Linus Karlsson with 148. Could happen during this 4-game homestand. Could happen in one game with someone that has the skill of Archdeep Baines to catch Linus Karlsson. So that's exciting to watch here. Baines to the bench, Kara, Kambites, and Poisson on the ice. Scramble for it off the draw, the Barracuda have it. Flick to center for Haltonen. He'll shoot it in the Canucks zone. Clayton ties up his man. And now he's pinned to the boards. Huntington fishes it free to the point for Thompson. Thompson with a backhander, floats it just wide of the net. Might have been tipped, it looked like. Now the Barracuda cycle it to the corner. Huntington behind the net for Giles. Giles up the left side. Takes his shot, stopped by Tolopilo, and he gets a friendly whistle. He didn't have the puck. The official apologizes right away. Canucks catch a break there. 5-minute mark, second period, 1-0 Canucks. Tomorrow night is Vancouver Canucks night, as some special alumni are in the building, including Henrik Sedin, who will do a pregame Q&A at 3 o'clock tomorrow. That'll be fun. So if fans are coming early, you can catch that happening on the South Rise. And then 4 more alumni will get some Q&A in the intermissions. But it's Henrik Sedin all by himself at 3 p.m. local time tomorrow. And then he will drop the puck at center between these two. Jimmy Schultz takes over inside his own line. Banks one ahead for Kambites. Poisson going to the net. Kambites stops. Feeds it to the slot, now picked up by Cagnoni. And Luca Cagnoni fires it to center for Giles. He'll chip it in deep and start a change for San Jose. Shots are 8-7 Abbotsford. At neutral ice, Felton dumps it in. Baines getting a double shift with Felton and Walker. Here's Haviland, bank pass to center. Finds Houle. He'll shoot it towards Tolopilo, the Canuck netminder. To the corner for Clayton. Clayton finds Walker, goes skate to stick, and ends up at center. Now Daschke takes a pass, he's one-on-one. Daschke on the wing, wrist shot. And that was blocked by Haviland, it goes wide. Now Daschke holds the left boards, fires it around the net for Walker. Walker taken off the puck by Van Roboys. Now to the blue line, kept in by Clayton. Clayton dumps it down low. Karlsson over to Haviland. Barracuda having issues clearing. Good pressure by the Canucks. Felton trying to dig it towards Berard, who's tied up against the wall. Canucks making changes. Berard leaves it. Barracuda pick it up, and finally it gets cleared out. Daschke's pass knocked down by Van Roboys. He'll feed it to Uhl. His shot, stick save by Tolopilo. Waters collects the rebound. Trying to find space at center, but Wahlstrom took it away. Oliver Wahlstrom across the Abbotsford line. Left wing pass for White. Point feed, Allen. Through traffic, wrist shot blocked in front. Now Wahlstrom from the right corner. Finds room, but his pass is stolen by Mancini, who feeds it ahead for Klimovich. Can't clear. And now it does get to center. It's Waters to Klimovich. Down the right wing. He shoots one off a stick and wide. Berard picks it up with a quick shot. Stick save, Carrier. Klimovich behind the net, trying to bring it in front, and it's gobbled up. Carrier falls on it. And the whistle sounds at 12:41 to go. Buzzer goes off as well. These two teams have hit the first meeting of the second period. If you're just joining us, Archdeep Baines scoring his 6th of the year at 3:13, assisted by Ty Mueller. And Mueller had an assist on the last road trip, has now racked up 8 points over his last 8 games, so he's starting to feel it these last few weeks. And the Canucks wrapping up a busy month of January, playing 15 games, finished with 6 wins, 9 losses. But here at home, they were solid. Had a 5-3 record and did that over 2 separate 4-game homestands. And the Canucks playing 15 games in January, that's a lot. By far their busiest month of the season. And just for context, just how much hockey that is, the Barracuda played just 10 times in January. And here in this month of February, for Abbotsford, way more quiet. They'll play almost half the games, just 8 on the schedule here in this new month. They'll only play a back-to-back set twice, one of those of which is happening this weekend against the Barracuda. Last month in January, there were 5 separate occasions where they played back-to-back, so that had to be taxing. So now they can take a breather in what is a relaxed February schedule. But 2-2 over this weekend here against the Barracuda, and they lead it 1-0 over the visitors from California. And the Barracuda playing some good hockey. Picked up a 2-1 win on Wednesday night at home against Coachella Valley. Are on a 4-game winning streak, and just before that 2-1 win, they were really racking up the goals over a 3-game stretch. They scored 17 times just before that 2-1 win the other night. Right now held up the score sheet, and a face-off is to the right of Gabriel Carrier. Carrier gonna take the draw against Giles. Carrier trying to kick it to a teammate. It ends up to Cagnoni. Trying to clear, kept in by Arnson. He'll blast one, and that went off the body of Cambites in front, it looked like. He was screening the netminder. Now Cambites behind the net. Back to Arnson, left point. Arnson shoots one intentionally wide. Ends up behind the net for Poisson. In front, Jet Wu was there. Finds Arnson instead. And Arnson floats one behind the net. Kara up the right corner. Absorbs a check. Passes to Arnson. He'll take a snapshot. Just went wide of the glove. Chernyshov will get it to center. He'll backhand it. And now stolen by Baines. He wires it in deep. Baines, Mueller, and Lecker-Mackey coming on as Cagnoni rips one the other way. Chernyshov back to Cagnoni. Over center, he'll dump it in. Kanishov fighting a rolling puck, stolen by Beested. Beested in front towards Huntington. His pass is blocked. Now Huntington behind the net. Up the right side, bank pass to the point for Thompson. Back to Huntington. He'll leave it for Beested. Beested, his pass hit a stick and ends up all the way down in the San Jose side of the rink. Thompson back to get it for the visitors. Around the boards for Beested. Beested to center, took a hit there from Mueller. And Lecker-Mackey at center, tied up, fighting for it. Comes towards Kanishov at the Canucks line. Up ahead for Mueller, lost it in his skates, and Lecker-Mackey touches it offside. And the whistle sounds at 11:12 to go. Still a 1-0 Canucks lead. And this Barracuda team, I mentioned they were filling up the net at the end of January. And before Wednesday's game, a bunch of players were on point streaks. Afanasiev had a 7-game point streak that was snapped. Colin White and Beested each had 5-game point streaks. Cam Lund had the hot stick. He had a 4-game goal-scoring streak, but did get an assist on Wednesday, so he's got points in 5 straight. But Afanasiev, Beested, and White all saw their streaks come to an end on Wednesday. Now Van Roboys with a shot. That goes wide and pinballs the center. Almost halfway through this game. Barracuda looking to tie this thing up. Shot to the corner. Now behind the net, Schultz is there for Abbotsford. Now Waters to Schultz. Over to Mancini. Now to center for Berard. Berard in the San Jose zone. Vincent the other way. Down the right side. Takes a shot that gets blocked. Jet Wu got in the way. Here comes Mancini between the blue lines. Left wing, he has Waters. Hits him with a pass. Waters throws it in front. Mancini got a stick tied up. And now Cagnoni falls on top of the puck. Mancini remains down low. Puck comes towards the crease where it's picked up by Wallstrom. He'll hand off to White. And it comes out to center. Poisson dumps it in. Carrier lost the puck. Good thing he had Colin White there to help him out, or else Kara might have had an open net. Now Cam bites, backhands one to the slot. Puck is loose, Arnstein's there. Arnstein tied up from behind. Now Kara trying to hold it down low, pass it to Arnstein. His intended pass to Poisson is stolen by Afanasiev, and he'll take it in the Canucks zone and stop. Hand off to Carlson, his shot blocked by Arnstein, and that goes out of play. Nice job by Joe to get in the way at the last second. 9:34 to go. Still a 1-0 Canucks lead on a goal from Arshdeep Bains at the 3:13 mark of this frame. Both teams changing. Shots on goal in this period. Favor Abbotsford 3-2. And Mueller, Bains, and Lecker-Mackey, after a short breather, come right back on. We'll take on the third line of the Barracuda. San Jose wins the face-off, and they score off a redirection. Huntington got a piece in the slot. Tolopilo didn't see it, and this game is tied. Carlson took a one-timer, and it was a good choice because it hit his teammate. I don't know if it was intentionally tipped, but it hit Huntington. And it's 1-1 with 9:32 to go. And Huntington has goals in back-to-back games. He won the face-off and puts it in between the legs of Nikita Tolopilo. You can see it change direction on him at the last second. San Jose wins a draw. Clayton ties up his man. It's now played to Chernyshov. The big Russian hands off to Carlson. And now Bains finds the puck and chips it to center. It's Lecker-Mackey trying to get behind the defense. Lecker-Mackey behind Carlson. He's tripped. And it might be a penalty shot. And it will be. Jonathan Lecker-Mackey gonna go one-on-one against Gabriel Carrier. The most exciting play in hockey coming right up. And it's the Canucks leading goal scorer. The man they want going in all alone as Carlson took him down. Nice play by Bains to send him in. And Lecker-Mackey looking to extend his 4-game point streak right now. The Barracuda just tied it. Can Lecker-Mackey give the home team the lead back? The sharpshooting Swede. The last time there was a penalty shot on home ice was last March. Here comes Lecker-Mackey in the San Jose zone. Goes to his left, towards the middle now. Lecker-Mackey dekes and he scores! Stop it! Stop it! The poise, the hands, the finish. Lecker-Mackey on a penalty shot gives Abbotsford the lead back. A thing of beauty. Cool, calm, collected, backhander, gently slides it across the goal line. What a goal. Lecker-Mackey, team leading 11th. Carrier took the bait, and Lecker-Mackey puts it home. What a goal. Took his time, went left, then to the middle, and then outweighted the goaltender. So after Huntington tied it on a redirection, the next shift, Lecker-Mackey gets dumped on a breakaway and buries one on the penalty shot. Barracuda have it in the Canucks zone, and they just shot it over top of the glass. Whistle sounds. So Lecker-Mackey extends his point streak to 5, and what a way to do it. Mentioned the last time there was a penalty shot was last March. It was actually March 8th of last year. Arshdeep Bains had it against who else? Gabriel Carrier. So how about that? The last 2 penalty shots in this rink have both come against the San Jose netminder, Gabriel Carrier. And Gabriel stopped Arshdeep last season. Lecker-Mackey also had a penalty shot a couple of years ago in Bakersfield on November 26th and missed against former Abbey Canuck netminder Colin Delia. He didn't miss this time around and made it look very easy. Now the Barracuda trying to get it back. Lund up the wing, stolen by Berard. Center ice feed, just missed Arnston. Berard steals it back, but had it poked off his stick at the line. Now Waters takes a turn, gives it right back to Berard, and he'll backhand it deep to the corner, trying to get it to Waters. Waters takes a hit, knocked off the puck, and the Barracuda calmly skated ahead. Huntington dumping in and around Clayton. Clayton from the corner, lost the puck, but a nice sweep check by Walker. Able to find a teammate in Dashke, plays it ahead to center, and Walker chops it in. 7:35 to go. Canucks out shooting the Barracuda in this period 4-3, and the last shot hit the back of the net on a penalty shot. Here's Anthony Vincent, left wing in the Canucks zone. Cycles it down low. Van Roboys had it roll away from him. Clayton up the wing. Felton tied up. Kara can't clear. Cagnoni works it to the right wing. Tried a shot, gets blocked by Felton. Nice play. He'll find Walker, and out to center it goes to Kara. And the Surrey product dumps it in, and the Canucks change. 7 minutes to go. Second period. Baines, Lecker, Mackey, and Mueller about to come on together. And now we got a hand pass called against the Barracudas. Felton takes a hit after the fact by Van Roboys, and that will draw a crowd. And we might see some gloves coming off here. Mancini's into it, and we're gonna have a fight. Mancini and Van Roboys, and the fight didn't last long as those two go crashing into the ice. We saw Van Roboys get into it earlier in this game, and this time him and Mancini peel away from the pile. And both without a helmet. And Mancini and Van Roboys head to the box. I wonder if they'll even get fighting majors, because not many punches, if any, were exchanged. More of a wrestling match. And so those two go off. 6:56 to go, and that came after a hit delivered on Christian Felton just as that whistle was sounding. So the officials will have a quick chat and talk about this scenario. We saw things really heat up at the 20-minute mark of the first period when Cambites got into it with Beestead. And then Haché was not happy and got a 10-minute misconduct. And both of those players will just get 2-minute minors. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, as Jimmy Schultz gets the explanation from the officials. Face-off will be in the San Jose end. Under 7 minutes to go now. And the discussion continues between the referee Will Kelly and Jimmy Schultz. Coach Manny Malhotra waits to see who comes on for San Jose. Going to be some open ice here, 4-on-4. Mueller gets a tap, and so does Lecker Mackey. Schultz and Wu will be on the blue line. Shots 10-9 in favor of the Canucks. Mueller will try to win this one back to Jet Wu if he can, whereas White will try to spin it to the corner for Cagnoni. And it's Cagnoni getting it. Throws it around his net. Lands along the wing for Lund, who's pressured by Schultz, and down goes Lund, but he made the pass. And here comes San Jose in transition. Cagnoni up ahead for his partner, Allen. Allen on the left wing. Waiting for the C's to open up, but nothing came available to him. Now he plays it off the glass, looking for Cagnoni. Lecker Mackey jumps all over him. Cagnoni falls. Puck's loose, picked up by the Barracuda, and now stolen by Mueller. He'll take it the other way, one-on-one against Allen. Mueller slows, and now turns towards the left wing. Plays it around the net. Lecker Mackey can't get away from Cagnoni and falls. Minute 20 to go in 4-on-4. Mueller stays after it, all by himself as Baines comes late. Now Lund, through center, finds Colin White. White up ahead for Lund, he's in all alone, he shoots, and he's stopped by Tolopilo. That came out of nowhere as Lund took the pass and nearly tied it. Nice save by the Canuck netminder, as Lund was looking to extend his point streak to 6. And now a chance for Huntington as Kanishov lost his stick. Canucks trying to help out their defenseman, and they will as Kara picks it up. Brings it to center, drops it off for Baines, and now Kanishov can go off to the bench. Wu takes his spot, gets the pass, and now finds Clayton in the San Jose zone. Cole Clayton off a skate towards Kara. Kara dropping it for Berard, right circle, turns away from pressure, hands off to Clayton. Traffic forming in front. Clayton to Kara, left circle. Kara to the left wing. Cycles it down low behind the net for Wu. 4-on-4 for another 15 seconds here. Berard from the right side, lost the handle, and Huntington trying to clear. Not much doing there. And the Canucks win the battle, and here comes Berard. Passing towards Wu, left wing. Wrist shot blocked. Barracuda pick it up, and 4-on-4 play is over. Mancini and Van Roboys come out of the box. And Van Roboys takes the feed. Dumps it in the Canucks zone with under 5 minutes to go. Schultz able to pass to Clayton. He'll jam it ahead. Mueller skates it through center with Lecker-Mackey. Kambites is there as well. Pass hit him in the skate and bounces up to center. And now the official ran into the puck, frees it up for Wahlstrom, and he scores! Oh, a tough break for the Canucks as it hit the linesman. And Wahlstrom was there to jump on it, and he rips it top shelf on Tolopila. What a shot. And this game is tied at 2. And the official is hearing it from the Canucks. They are not happy, but they are part of the game, and sometimes that will happen. So it'll be Wahlstrom unassisted. And that was just a great snapshot, top of the circle, blocker side. And Oliver Wahlstrom has his 13th, tied for the team lead. So a good response after Lecker-Mackey scored on the penalty shot. Wahlstrom, who leads the team in power play goals, having a good season. Makes it 2-2. Afanasiev dumping it in. And I can assure you, nobody feels worse in the rink than the official. Now we got a penalty coming up as Mancini took a high stick from the goal scorer Wahlstrom. And Afanasiev trying to drag a Canuck to the box, mixing it up here with Arnston and Waters. Mancini checking for damage. So we'll see what happens here. Both teams are going to have their media timeout for 90 seconds. So Wahlstrom, just after he tied it, going to sit in the box for either 2 or 4 minutes. And the Canucks can hang out of their bench and talk about a power play setup. 4:19 to go. So an eventful few seconds for Wahlstrom, who's all over the score sheet now. As both teams peel away from each other and head to their benches. 2-2 is the score, as the first period brought nothing in the way of goals. And all of a sudden, we have an explosion. Both teams with 2 apiece. Well, it was announced yesterday that Canucks Sports and Entertainment and the city of Abbotsford secured a 5-year extension to keep the team here inside Rogers Forum, which is big and exciting news for everybody. And I know the players and staff love living in this city and playing in this rink, and just seeing the way the fans have rallied around this team over the last 5 years, especially the Calder Cup run last spring and summer, was very special. And this franchise is all about community as well. They've raised more than $5.5 million for local causes through the Canucks for Kids Fund 50-50 program. And that number will only grow. So great to see that deal get done yesterday. And you, the fans, can benefit with an exclusive ticket offer on Canucks hockey and select live events here at Rogers Forum. You can head online right now and use code 5MORE. That is all one word, 5MORE, to receive up to 10% off select Abbotsford Canucks hockey games and up to 25% off select live events. So 5 more years of happy Canucks hockey. It's been a great relationship between CSC and the city of Abbotsford. And great to see that deal come together. Meanwhile, in this game, Wahlstrom gets 2 minutes for high sticking. And Oliver Wahlstrom, he has now scored in 4 of his last 6, and playing in this league must feel a bit foreign for him, as he has spent most of his pro career in the NHL with the Islanders, who drafted him in the first round of 2018. Was a full-timer for the Islanders from 2020 to 2024. and was claimed on waivers by the Bruins in December of last year and then signed a PTO in September with the Barracuda, which has led to a full-time contract, and what a great signing that has been. So the Canucks about to get to their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1. Puck is dropped, and now there's a battle for it from the corner. The Canucks feverishly digging for it. Waters has it, feeds the point. Mancini keeps it in with his glove and sets it up for Baines. Baines on the right wing. Cross-ice feed, Lecker-Mackey. Up top for Mancini, back to Lecker-Mackey. Mueller screening, Lecker-Mackey in front. Just missed Waters on the redirect. Baines collects it on the right side. Sets it back up, down low, feed in front. Waters from Mueller and stuffed wide. And the Barracuda find the puck and clear. So already this power play looking a lot better than their first opportunity. Here's Lecker-Mackey dropping it off for Victor Mancini. He took the high stick to make this power play happen. Now Baines takes the drop pass. The two Canuck goal scorers, Baines and Lecker-Mackey on the ice as Mueller try to pass, it's blocked, comes back to him, and he falls. Barracuda pick it up, but can't clear. Great hold by Mancini. Sets up Lecker-Mackey with a shot. He just missed the glove side. Mueller, left corner. Plays it back to the point for Mancini. Right back to Mueller, now in front. Baines, swing and a miss on the one-timer. Barracuda pick it up and dump it down. 45 seconds ago on this man advantage. 3 minutes left in this second period. Here's Victor Mancini. Out to center for Kara. Drop pass, glove down by Klimovich. Klimovich to center for Berard. Left wing pass, Kara. In the San Jose zone, gets help from Klimovich. Puck is tied up. Canucks try to outnumber it. And it's free for the Barracuda, and Vincent gets it to center. In the Canucks zone, he chips it around Schultz. 15 seconds for the Canucks to work with. Here's Jimmy Schultz, dropping it off for Klimovich. Through center, dropping it off for Berard. Left wing pass, Kara. Back to Berard. He'll leave it for Kara. Penalty coming to an end. 2 seconds left. And the Barracuda get it to center. And the penalized player, Wahlstrom, joins Chernyshov on a rush. Wahlstrom takes a pass. Trying to backhander, got blocked. Now Huntington trying to feed the point. Hit a shin pad, ricochets to Klimovich. And the veteran winger will chip it off the boards. Berard gets it out to center and brought back in by the Barracuda. Offside, or no, it went to the bench. 2 minutes ago, second period, and help. Ben Berard got some great news yesterday that he is taking the spot of Kirill Kudryavtsev at the AHL All-Star Classic next week in Rockford. So congrats to Ben, who's having a breakout year, leading the team in points. And what a journey it's been from an undrafted forward, grinded in the ECHL last year, and is now an AHL All-Star. So congrats to the Duncan product, Ben Berard, who will be off to Illinois next week to represent the Abbey Canucks. Mueller, Baines, and Lecker-Mackey getting a double shift again. Under 2 minutes to go now. Arnston to center. His pass tipped by Mueller. Lands towards the goaltender, who leaves it smartly. I thought it was going to hit him, but it rolled through his crease and the icing is called. So the Barracuda have the last 3 shots in this game and have the advantage 12-10. There hasn't been a ton of room throughout this game. There's been some chances, and especially in the second period, both teams capitalizing on them, but in the first, Canucks had 3 scoring chances. The Barracuda had just 1. Off the face-off, puck squirts free to Joe Arnston. He'll play it around the net for Clayton. Clayton's pass rolls one to Lecker-Mackey off his stick, comes back to Clayton. Clayton to Arnston. Back to Clayton, he missed the pass. Afanasiev steals from the left corner. Now in front, but Arnston tied up his man, and Baines will chip it out. Nice play by Arnston to make sure he tied up a black sweater. Now Arnston intercepts and finds Klimovich. He's getting a double shift as he's back on. Now Mueller down the left wing. Slows and dumps it behind the net, trying to find Baines. Baines leaves it for Klimovich. Goes after it in the corner. Waters finds it, he shoots one. That was blocked by Haviland. Last minute of play, second period, 2-2 tie. Here's Anthony Vincent in the Canucks zone. Behind the play, there's an injured Barracuda. And he might need a whistle. And he will get one. And Colin White is in some discomfort as he is trying to slide his way to the bench, but now he's going to stop. and get some medical attention. And meanwhile, both teams come together. And White has missed some time already this year, and talking to the trainer. 51 seconds to go. Hopefully Colin White is okay, and he is on his skates but not putting any weight on his left leg. So that would be a huge blow as he's having a great year. White, the former first rounder of Ottawa, 26 points in 28 games, and needs a couple of teammates to help him get to the bench and into the locker room. Looks like he got clipped in front of his net. So the Barracuda, like the Canucks, with 11 forwards at the moment. Hopefully White can rejoin his teammates in the third. Faceoff's going to be just outside the Canucks line. As White slowly goes to his locker room for further evaluation. Folks, stay tuned for the second intermission when we will hear the AHL Plays of the Week put together by Bob Roadtruck. A lot going on last week in this league, and same deal this week, especially with a lot of games tonight, 13 in the American Hockey League. Kara on the ice with Cambites and Walker. Kara wins it clean. Mancini to center, just missed Walker. Walker able to get it right back, though, took it from Haviland. Now Walker behind the net, trying to get it to Cambites. Cambites taken to the ice by Hache. Remember, those two got into it late in the first. Now Kara in front for Walker, quick shot, stopped by Carrier, and he'll hang on to it. That was a quick straight from behind the net as Kara fed it to Walker in tight, nearly made it 3-2. Nice job by the netminder with a quick reactionary save there. Face-off will be in the Barracuda zone as both teams change. Mueller, Lecker-Mackey, and Baines out. They played a lot this game and will likely stay that way until the final buzzer. Mueller going to take the draw against Giles. Both centermen fall. It ends up behind the San Jose net. Allen trying to clear Mancini, saw it coming, picks it off and throws one off a body and wide. Now Baines left wing to the point for Schultz. Now to Mancini, quick snapshot, glove save Carrier, and he will hang on to it. Another face-off to come here in the San Jose end with 14 seconds on the clock. And now Chase Waters will come out for the draw on a strong side. Ty Mueller will go to the bench. Shots 13-12 in favor of San Jose. And Waters won it back, but it's quickly stolen by Giles. He'll get it over his center and dump it in. Not very far, though. Schultz plays it out, and that should kill the remaining seconds on the clock. 3 seconds to go. And the buzzer sounds, and for a second straight period, these two clubs are tied. 0-0 after the first, and now after 40 minutes, 2-2, as the offense on both sides have come alive. Should set up an entertaining third. The Canucks yet to play from behind. They opened the scoring and then took the lead after San Jose tied it. But Wahlstrom with the equalizer. Make sure that these two clubs head to the intermission tied at 2. So as I mentioned, 13-12 are the shots in favor of the Barracuda. San Jose had 7 shots in the last frame. The Canucks had 6. Power 0 for 2, San Jose 0 for 1. Got 4 goals to recap. It started early at 3:13 in the second period. Archdeep Baines getting his 6th of the year from Ty Mueller. And that was all Mueller to hold it in at the attacking line with one hand on his stick. Just reached out to keep it in front of the blue line. And then fired a quick pass to Baines' left corner, who took it hard to the net and ripped it home on the backhand, cutting towards the crease. So Baines is 2 points behind Linus Karlsson for the all-time franchise points lead. But the lead would last just over 7 minutes as Jimmy Huntington scored off a redirection off a face-off win, his 9th of the year from Karlsson and Lund. So Lund does get a point and extends his point streak to 6 games. But the next shift, Lecker-Mackey took a pass behind the defense, got tripped, got awarded a penalty shot, and The Swedish winger made no mistake, scored an absolute beauty. Going way to his left and then cut to the middle. Outweighted the goaltender, forehand, backhand, back of the net. His 11th of the year, and extends its point streak to 5. Made it 2-1, but less than 5 minutes after that, the Barracuda getting a lucky break off a referee skate at the Canucks line, bounced right to Oliver Wahlstrom, who ripped one home, top of the circle, blocker side on Tolopilo, his 13th unassisted, and that is where these two teams stand going into the third period. So Lekkerimäki and Baines, they played a lot tonight. They had the goals. And Lekkerimäki up to 3 shots in this game. And that leads everybody. So another solid game from Jonathan Lekkerimäki, who was just sent down from the Vancouver Canucks. And Lekkerimäki on his last recall played in 4 games, scored a nice goal last Saturday against Elise at Rogers Arena. And now here in Abbotsford, he's got 17 points in 17 games. 11 of those 17 points are goals. So nothing really happened in the first period, but boy, did things open up in the second. 4 penalties, 4 goals. And we'll see what happens in the third. Will 3 goals be enough to win? We'll find out in just over 15 minutes time. We've seen some aggressiveness. 2 teams have come together a few times in this game. Seen some gloves go off, but no fighting majors have been handed out. Mancini and Van Rooijboys are close, just past the 13-minute mark, but got minor penalties. And usually a tie game in the third period, you don't see a whole lot of fights, but you never know, by the way. These 2 teams are going after each other in this game. They're going to play each other again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Note the start time, 4 o'clock local time. Here from Rogers Forum will be the 6th meeting of the year. And right now it is the Barracuda leading the season series with 3 wins to Abbotsford's 1. All right, before we get to the plays of the week, let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard. Ontario leading Bakersfield 2-1 at the end of 2. Coachella Valley 3-2 lead over Henderson after 40. Tucson hammers Calgary 7-3. That is a final. Colorado loses 5-4 to Chicago. Laval beats Cleveland 5-4 in OT. Utica needed a shootout to beat Bridgeport 2-1. Syracuse knocks off Belleville 5-3. Charlotte blanks Grand Rapids 3-0. Rochester also a shutout win. They beat Springfield 4-0. Wilkes-Barre beats Lehigh Valley 6-5. Providence at home knocks off Hartford 3-1. Iowa goes into Rockford and wins 5-2. And Texas in a low-scoring game beats Manitoba by a 2-1 score. All right, Bob Roadtruck put together this week's AHL Plays of the Week. Always nice to hear other calls around the league. And got over 6 minutes of goal calls. And without further ado, here is Bob Roadtruck.
Last games before the AHL All-Star break and well past the midway point of the season as well, as the big games and big goals take on increasing significance. Welcome to our latest edition of the AHL Plays of the Week. Don't look now, but the Cleveland Monsters have won 6 straight, suddenly finding themselves in second place in the North. Rookie Jack Williams, 5th-round shootout winner, capping a third-period comeback from down 2-0 against Toronto. Tony Brown had the call.
The game on his stick as he goes between the circles, kicks the leg, he scores! Willie wins it for Cleveland! The shootout victory by a 3-2 final. The Monsters come back from down 2-0 in the third, and Williams is Cleveland's Mr. Clutch again.
Rochester Americans earned a split in their 2-game series against Hershey in a matchup of the 2 oldest teams in the AHL. First-rounder Isaac Roseanne cranking in his 20th of the season with legendary voice of the Amerks, Don Stevens at the mic.
Pass along the near side out to center ice. Stepping up a collision but continuing on. Roseanne over the line, takes a shot, scores! Found an opening, lower left corner, sneaks it through, and the Amerks regain the lead.
The Utica Comets snagged a standings point against Hershey, including Brian Hallinen's team leading 14th of the year, as called by Joe Benson.
Out high to Chris Cole, this way for Cholowski. Back for Chris Cole, touch pass Hallinan. Chris Cole, Hallinan, looking, shot, score! Brian Hallinan snaps a laser beam past Gibson from the right circle. A power play goal. The Comets tie the game at 1.
But But Ivan Miroshnichenko keeps on scoring big goals for Hershey, including an overtime winner to knock off Utica in that same game as part of a 2-goal performance, with Zach Fish on the mic.
And cleared to center ice, bluffed by Leeson with Miroshnichenko. Leeson over the blue line. Miroshnichenko left wing, he scores! Overtime winner! Ivan Miroshnichenko, his second of the game, and that's a 4-3 win for Hershey and Utica.
The Lehigh Valley Phantoms have received big contributions from defenseman Christian Kairu since his arrival from the Texas Stars in October. The team's all-star representative produced a 3-point game against Bridgeport in a 5-3 win on Saturday. Cross ice and a goal, Kairu from Zane Wisdom, and Christian Kairu rips it from the right side. Hand off for Kairu, centering Wisdom, he scores! Christian Kairu for Zane Wisdom. Phantoms lead 4-2 on Wisdom's 7th of the year, and it's a 3-point game for Christian Kairu. Grand Rapids is still at the top of the heap in the AHL and broke out of a little losing funk with Edwards Trailmax, scoring his 18th of the year to spark a 5-2 win over rival Milwaukee. The Griffs are 34-6-3 overall, including an incredible mark on the road, 17-1-2. Here's Bob Kaiser.
Now Lombardi, who wanders down behind the net. The Griffins now will wheel the puck back to the point. William takes a look, fires the rebound, backhander, score! Edwards Trailmax pops it into an empty net, and the Griffins at 3:52 will take it a 2-0 lead.
Rally time in the Lone Star State. Down 3-0 to start and 3 times battling back to tie, with Cole Lind dramatically forcing overtime late in an incredible win against Henderson. John Peterson all fired up.
They drop the puck to the left of Whitehead. Up top, Lind. Pump fakes, pulls back, rips a shot, he scores! Bedlam in the Lone Star State. Cole Lind with a nifty shimmy shake at the point. Pump faked, pulled back, got a new lane to the net and ripped it past Whitehead. He ties the game at 5 with 1:13 left.
The San Jose Barracuda lit it up for 7 goals to complete a sweep of the Calgary Wranglers. Nick Nolenberger getting a workout at the mic.
Has Shea up high for Beaston, covering for right weak side for Haviland. Right flank now for Chernishaw. Chernishaw, sink pass, one-timer, Haviland, he scores! What a setup feed from Chernishaw, and the Barracuda have a 3-1 lead.
The Manitoba Moose are having a strong season and picked up a hard-earned 4-1 win over Rockford. Veteran Jared Anderson-Dolan with a pair, as called by Daniel Fink.
Van Horn does well to cover up for his D partner. Now here come the Moose down the right side. Julian dropping for Yager to the front of the net for Anderson-Dolan, and he scores! Jared Anderson-Dolan making 2 in the game, and the Moose have a 2-goal lead.
Better late than never for the Iowa Wild, who finally broke through against Milwaukee with just 94 seconds to go, en route to a shootout win to sweep the series. Here's Ben Gislason.
To his right, it's Obey Kubel, a slippery move into the right-hand circle, a pass across for Gleason. His shot hit a man in front, they score! Ben Jones, Captain Fantastic, and the dam has finally broken.
Coming up, the best of the best converge on Rockford, Illinois this week for the AHL All-Star Classic presented by BMO. The skills competition on Tuesday and the All-Star Challenge round-robin tourney event on Wednesday. Watch live on NHL Network and TSN and on FloHockey TV. I'm Bob Rotrug with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in Allentown, Pennsylvania for the AHL Plays of the Week.
Thanks to Bob Rochuk for putting that together, and might see a couple plays of the week from this game alone, especially the penalty shot from Lecker-Mackey on next week's edition. Got a good one brewing here from Abby. The score after 40, Canucks 2, Barracuda 2. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on your Friday night. My name is Brandon Astle. You're watching the American Hockey League on HL TV through FloHockey. Third period puck drop is next. inside Rogers Forum. Start of the third period between the Canucks and Barracuda, tied at 2. Mueller, Baines, Lecker-Mackey going to start this third period against Huntington, Chernyshov, and Lund. Shots even, score even. Puck is dropped, back underway here from the Fraser Valley. Barracuda pick it up and chip it in. Huntington in the Canucks zone from the right corner. Throws it in front, and Lund was there, but he couldn't take it off his skate. He was wide open, and then Lecker-Mackey able to get it off him. Now the Canucks just send it down for icing. Nice job by Huntington to win a battle and take it out of the right corner to find Lund. But he's unable to pull the trigger. Face-off coming to the right of Nikita Tolopilo. Mueller against Huntington in the circle again. And the Canucks win it back. Mancini behind his net for Schultz. Schultz to Mancini. Off his skate, comes back to Schultz. On his backhand, feeds it up the wing. Lecker-Mackey to center for Mueller. Leaves it for Baines. It's a 2-on-1. Baines in front, and his shot was blocked. Mueller picks it up, trying to stuff it home. Can't do it. Now Lecker-Mackey from the corner. Plays it out to the point for Schultz. His wrist shot blocked. Rolls towards Baines on that left side. Back up top for Schultz. Has a man without a stick. Wrist shot stopped by Carrier, and he'll hang on. Nice job by Jimmy to sift it through traffic. But Carrier able to spot it and make the save. Nice shift there from the Canucks top trio, who'll go to the bench for a change. 2-on-1 just before that between Baines and Mueller. And looked like Baines was in between shooting and passing. Ended up shooting one that got blocked. Now Waters, Berard, and Klimovich take to the ice for Abbotsford. And a false start. Both centermen will be able to stay in, Giles and Waters. And Berard kicks it back to the point. Arnston. Wrist shot, blocked in front. Puck loose. Waters scrambling for it. Able to get it back to the point for Arnston. On his backhand, he holds it in down low. Waters leaves it for Berard. Throws it towards the crease, and a nice poke check by Carrier. Made sure it didn't hit a white sweater. Now Klimovich shovels it back along the boards. Picked off by Haviland. And San Jose will ice the puck. Carlson thought he had Afanassiev, but there was too much steam on it. So good shift from Abbotsford's second line. And we'll put a fresh trio out there, which includes Kara, Poisson, and Cambites. Tired legs on the ice for San Jose. Good start so far from the Canucks. They have the only shot. Kara wins it to the boards. Gets it back, does a big centerman, feeds the point. Kinishov to Clayton. Clayton shoots it around the net. Poisson had it poked off his stick by Giles. Good reach there. And Afanassiev banks it off the glass and out. That will allow the team to change. Now Cambites on the left wing, throws it to an empty corner for Poisson. Poisson to the point. Clayton, skate to stick. Drags it to the middle. Passes to his partner, Kinishov. Kinishov wrist shot off his stick and out of play. Nice job there by Vincent to get the block. So most of the play in this period has been in the end of San Jose. The Canucks doing a good job of winning battles and going low to high using their D, just like they did on this shift. Kara, Poisson, and Cambites stay out. Gets the fourth line of the Barracuda. No sign of Colin White, who got banged up after running to chase Waters late in the second. Kara wins another face-off. Kinishov takes a shot that gets blocked and goes out of play again. This time standing in the way was Halttunen. And they will do it again at that same circle. Almost 2 minutes in, Dashke and Mancini take off Clayton and Kinishov, and the officials say not gonna happen. They waited too long to make the change, so Clayton and Kinishov stay out. San Jose wins this face-off, and Allen rings it around the wall. Vincent can't get it out. Nice job by Clayton to apply some pressure, and now it gets across the blue line. Clayton lost the puck to Van Roboys. He's getting behind the defense. Van Roboys in front. Haltonen shoots, and he can't beat Tolopilo blocker side. He lost it for a second, regathered, and let it rip. Now a shot stopped by Tolopilo on Vincent. And the whistle sounds as Vincent gets into it with Mancini quickly to make that Kara. And the officials trying to separate those two and able to do just that. So there's the first test of the period from Nikita Tolopilo. Igor Chernyshov steps on. And he's got to be careful, or the Canucks got to be careful when he's on the ice. Having a great rookie season, got called up in December to San Jose Sharks. Had 11 points in 15 games, was on a line with Celebrini at one point. And as I mentioned, he's been a terror for the Canucks. 9 points in the season series in just 4 games, which included his first AHL hat trick in this rink back on November 11th, Remembrance Day. He's on the ice right now. The Canucks win the faceoff. Schultz can't clear it out. Huntington blocked it. Comes back to Schultz. Lost the handle. Chernyshov to Huntington. Wrist shot. Glove save Tolopilo, and he'll hang on. Boy, Huntington's been one of the best forwards tonight for San Jose. Had a goal in the second period and has made some nice plays tonight. Just picked up his second shot of the evening. 17:25 to go. This game's still knotted up at 2s. Barracuda win the faceoff. Cagnoni, right circle, backhander at the side of the net. Puck comes towards Tolopilo and he covers. He actually had to lunge for it. Use his goal stick to reel it into his glove. Nice heads-up play there by the big goaltender. And Juja Kerr gonna come on for face-off purposes. Baines and Mueller stay out. Huntington will take the draw for San Jose as the Barracuda have their lines mixed up with the absence of Colin White. Huntington wins the draw. Quick shot by Lund is blocked. Puck finds Allen, who coughed it up to Mueller. Nice defensive play there by the second-year center. Now Mueller helping it out all the way in the San Jose zone. Not enough for icing. Lekramacky jumps right back on for Kara as Cagnoni wheels it around his net. Cross ice to his partner, Allen. Allen to center for Giles. Giles to the right wing, hands off for Cagnoni. Cagnoni with a shot off the glove of Tolopilo. Ends up in the corner for Wahlstrom. Sharp angle shot, stopped. Puck rolling in front, picked up, and Afanasiev ripped it off a body and out of play. Couple of looks there on Tolopilo. Faceoff will stay in the Canucks zone. First 2 minutes were controlled by the Canucks. For the last 2, it belonged to San Jose. Both teams change. Shots now 17-13 all of a sudden in favor of the Barracuda. 4 shots in about a 90-second stretch for the visitors. Kara on the bench. Waters will take this draw. It's on his strong side, trying to get it to the corner. Instead, it comes to Kinishov, who takes it around his net. Up ahead for Berard. Ends up at center where Thompson picks it off and rifles it back in. Teammates tag up onside as Waters knocks it behind his net for Clayton. Over to Kinishov. Up ahead to Berard. He dumps it all the way down. Icing's waved. Hache around the boards. Afanasiev chips it to the Canucks line where Clayton jumps on it. Clayton to Waters. In his own end to Kinishov. Center ice feed. Tipped towards the San Jose line. Rolls to center for Klimovich. He'll hand off in his own end for Kinishov. Quick pass to center for Waters. Waters backhands it in as the Canucks change. These two teams have played over 4 minutes. Still tied at 2. Thompson, high flick to center. Rolling puck, and Haltonen's on a breakaway. He dekes, and he's stopped by Tolopilo. Puck is loose in the crease, and the Abbey netminder has it. And now Houle has his helmet knocked off. What a chance for Haltonen. Rolling puck, got around the Abbey defense, and he jumped on it. Went in all alone, but couldn't beat Tolopilo, who makes a huge stop here earlier in the third. Stays knotted at 2. Tough break there, but a nice flick from Thompson. Puck hit an edge, and Haltonen takes advantage as it got around Mancini And he had no room there along the ice as Tolopilo got his left pad on it. So Tolopilo's been sharp since coming out of the dressing room. Face-off is to his right. And now the officials want to talk to the San Jose bench about something. Now the puck will be dropped. Canucks win it. Jet Wu plays it off a stick. Lands towards Haviland at the San Jose line. And he'll bank one back in the Canucks zone. Clayton around the net. Jet Wu catches up to the pass and plays it to Walker. Walker's tied up. Now Carlson steals and flicks one towards Tolopilo. Tolopilo to the line, held in by Huntington. He'll slide it down low around the net. Clayton knocks his man off the puck. Barracuda on a penalty. They thought Halton was interfered with. I think they had a case as Waters knocked him down nowhere near the puck. But play goes on, and here's Huntington. Slowly through center, able to play it in. Chernyshov chases after it. Jet Wu steps in front of him and knocks it free to Mueller. Now he finds Lecker-Mackey. He'll turn back and find some space. Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, head up through center. On the tape, finds Arnston. He'll play it in. Mueller's on the forecheck against Cagnoni. Those two tie up. Now to the corner, Mueller. One hands it to Lecker-Mackey. Back to Mueller. Protects it around the net. Mueller, Mancini, his shot, scores! Vittorio Mancini makes it 3-2 Abbotsford. What a play behind the net from the Canucks top line. Mueller finds Mancini, and he's got his second goal in as many home games. And Abbotsford goes in front 3-2. He hit a post earlier in this game from that exact spot. Not this time. What a shot. Mueller gets his second point of the night after winning a battle behind the net. Big goal for Mancini, his fourth of the year. And the Canucks top line has been dominant tonight. And they connect for another one. Face off at center, 14:32 left. Mancini's had a great game. He's drawn a penalty. He's hit a post. He's been physical. And now he's got the go-ahead goal. Puck is dumped in. Mancini stays out. Takes a check from Afanasiev, and he just drew a penalty. Victor Mancini doing it all. Afanasiev grabbed onto him from behind, and the Canucks can hear the third power play of the game. Looking for an insurance marker as Al Murdoch makes the call. Lecker-Mackey will get an assist. He's got a 2-point game. And Mancini might as well stay out. He's usually on the top power play, and he goes to the bench for a quick breather, and he heads to the blue line for the face-off. So Mancini at 5:28 from Lecker-Mackey and Mueller. It's Mancini's third, not his fourth. Off the face-off, Mueller gets checked to the ice, gets back up, feeds the point, Mancini. Hands off to Waters. Waters on the right boards, back to the point. Mancini, this time goes to Baines. Waters in front providing the screen. Baines sends it down low, pass blocked. Baines trying to get it back, stolen by Huntington, and he dumps it down. Nice little two-man game there from Huntington and Hache. Now Lund applies pressure. He gets double-teamed behind the Canucks net. And Abbotsford will take it the other way with numbers. Lecker-Mackey to center. Hits Baines to the pass. He'll drop it back for Lecker-Mackey. Slides it down to the corner for Baines, who's pressured from behind. Teammates coming to help. All sorts of bodies down there digging after it. The Barracuda just hoping to kill some clock. Minute 10 to go in this power play. Lodging some skates down there. It's like a rugby scrum. And now it's kicked towards Chernyshov, who takes it around his net. And the rookie will skate it to center. He's fresh. Igor Chernyshov down the right wing. Drop pass to Giles. Back to Chernyshov. Giles in front, and it's swept away from him. And it comes out to center. Now the Canucks can change. 45 seconds left to work with as Giles brings it back in. Down the right wing. Around the net. Wrap around off a skate. Canucks pick it up, and here they come. Klimovich picks up speed down the right wing. Klimovich stops, trying to set this thing up. able to make a pass to Kara. In front, puck loose, wide open, Berard, glove save, Carrier! What a stop! Berard can't believe it. The puck found him inside the left circle, and Carrier lunging to his right, able to make the save against the grain, and it remains 3-2. There's the best chance of the power play, and it came off a good entry and a feed from Kara. Berard was wide open, and the Canucks All-Star nearly made it 4-2. 29 seconds ago in this power play. 12:48 on the clock. Mancini has a go-ahead goal at 5:28. All 5 players on the power play huddle up to have a chat, and now they get set up. Shots are 18-15 San Jose. Off the face-off. Ends up behind the net. Now from the corner, Huntington able to clear it all the way down. He has been great on this penalty kill. 15 seconds left for the Canucks to work with. Schultz dropping it off for Ben Berard. He picks up speed between the blue lines. Here he comes in the attacking zone. Berard in the high slot, slows, throws it in front of a skate. Puck loose in the crease, and Carrier kept it out. Now Schultz fans on a one-timer. Comes to Klimovich. His shot is blocked by Huntington. Power play is over. Klimovich shot stopped by Carrier, and Haché will take it around his net. Barracuda chip it to center. It's a 3-on-1 all of a sudden. Here's Afanasiev down the wing. Afanasiev shoots and he scores! What a shot posted in, and this game is tied at 3. Chance at one end, stopped by Carrier, and a goal at the other. Afanasiev continues his torrid couple of weeks. Great toe drag, snapshot blocker side, fresh off a kill. It's 3-3 with 12:05 to go as Kara is denied in tight just before that. And then Afanasiev on a 3-on-1 decided to keep it, and it turned out to be a good choice. And it did not hit the post. That clang I heard was the middle bar. So 3-3 is the score. A good kill leads to a goal for San Jose. It'll be an even strength marker. And Afanasiev, who struggled out of the gates offensively, really picked it up lately. He had just 11 points up until January 10th, but now he's got 10 points over his last 8 games alone. Now away from the play, the Barracuda are taking another penalty as Jet Wu took a stick up high. So a little bit of a parade to the box. It's a second high sticking call here tonight against the Barracuda. We'll see if it's 2 or 4 as Wu slowly goes to the bench, and it'll be 2 minutes. Haltonen goes off, and the Canucks will have 90 seconds to talk about the power play setup. As we see the replay, as Haltonen got a stick up. The chops of Jet Wu, no doubter there. And the Canucks will try to take some momentum back after San Jose just tied it. Afanasiev came out of the box and buried it. And now it will be Haltonen hoping to sit for 2 minutes. So after a first period that was scoreless, these last 2 periods have been fantastic. Both teams just trading goals left and right. And the Canucks looking to get on the board of the power play. They had chances on late on their last one, but right now, 0 for 3. Hey, Canucks fans, this team is just getting started, and you can join the momentum with season tickets. You can get full seasons, half season, or even mini memberships. And some highlights include a guaranteed price, where members are guaranteed the lowest price on tickets. You'll also get playoff priority, ticket savings for all events here at Rogers Forum, and you also get a dedicated account executive. For more info, go to abbotsford.canucks.com. Again, that address is abbotsford.canucks.com. So the Canucks have had the last 3 power plays and really hoping to make the Barracuda pay. Still lots of time left here in this game, 11:48 on the clock. And onto the ice, Baines, Waters, Lekkerimäki, Mueller, and Mancini. Looks like Mueller will take the draw on his strong side. This penalty kill is ranked to the bottom half of the league, but tonight, this looks sharp for San Jose. They're looking to keep it that way. Mueller, Baines, Lekkerimäki have combined for 5 points tonight and looking for more. So it'll be Mueller against Giles. Ty Mueller, 2 assists. Lekkerimäki, 1-1. Jimmy Huntington got the only assist on Afanasiev's goal. So he's got a multi-point game. When the Canucks won the draw a little too clean, and Mueller will get waved out, they'll re-drop it and add 1 second on the clock. Good thing they got Chase Waters out there. He will take it. Not on his strong side. And the Barracuda win it, and Jack Thompson will shoot it all the way down. So a good start to this PK. Mancini will pick it up from behind his net. Mancini for Lekkerimäki, now to center for Baines. Baines lost the puck and it's swept back in the Canucks zone. Lekkerimäki will take it in front of Tolopilo. Picks up a little speed. Lekkerimäki to center for Baines. Baines chipping it down the left wing. Thompson's there to pick it up. Able to find Haché around the boards for Giles, and he takes his time. Skates up to center. Waits for his team to change and now dumps it in. Canucks go off to the bench as well. Minute 15 to go on the power play. Nothing happening yet on this man advantage. We'll see if some fresh legs can change that. Here's Mancini up ahead for Kara through center. Kara back to Mancini. Lost the puck and Klimovich brings it in offside. Whistle sounds. Minute 2 seconds to go on this man advantage. And the Canucks looking frustrated again on the power play. Barracuda have just given him no clean entries. That's half the battle on the power play, is getting in and setting up. Easier said than done. Off the face-off, Kara. Able to find Ben Berard. He'll dump it to the left wing for Klimovich. Down low for Berard. Kicks it to Kambites. Canucks set it up to the point. Schultz over to Kara on the right side. Kambites parked in front for the screen. Kara shoots, it gets blocked. Ricochets to Jimmy Schultz. Schultz passes to Klimovich. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Klimovich back to Schultz. Cross ice, Berard walks in with a shot. It got blocked. Kambites trying to pick it back up. Fends off a check, and now he's double teamed. Worked beautifully there by Allen, and he'll send it all the way down. 25 seconds to go. Canucks picked it up. They got to hurry if they want one last setup. Schultz out to center for Berard. Berard for Kara. Drop pass, Schultz. Right wing feed. Klimovich couldn't take it off his skate. Haché is there, and he dumps it all the way down, and that'll do it. Power play will be 0 for 4, and this game remains tied at 3 with under 10 minutes to go in regulation. Here's Poisson off the bench. In the attacking zone, drop pass. Walker, wrist shot, glove save, Carriere. And he'll hang on for a face-off. 9:44 to play. Another job well done by that San Jose PK. And Walker and Poisson are joined by Christian Felton for a shift. Haven't seen Philip Beestead. That would be a big loss if he's out, because he's their all-star. Had his 5-game point streak snapped on Wednesday, like I mentioned. And leads the team in scoring. Has already surpassed last year's rookie total. Haven't seen him all period. Here's Baines. Now on the ice with Lekkerimäki and Mueller. Mueller digging for it in the corner. Baines comes in to help out, knocks it free, but towards the Barracuda. And Cagnoni will get over center and dump it in. Clayton up the boards for Kanishov. He's got a little room. Kanishov to Lekkerimäki. Center ice feed. Here's Baines behind the defense. Archie Baines shoots. Stopped by Carriere. No rebound. Nice job by Lekkerimäki to find Baines behind coverage. And Archie nearly had his second of the game, but Carriere stayed square to the shooter and made sure it remains 3-3. Boy, this line is on fire. Every time they're out there, it seems like those three make something happen. And Baines won't be happy about that bit as he put it right into the midsection of Carriere. 9:13 to go, and that line goes off. Now Berard will take a twirl with Walker and Felton. Fourth line is out for San Jose, who are down their top two centers right now, Beestead and White. Unless it's an equipment issue for Beestead. We know White got hurt at the end of the second and probably won't return if I had to hazard a guess. Walker off the face-off, wins it, throws it down low. Berard's tied up. Carlson comes away with the puck. Out to center, hit a skate and finds Joe Arnston. He'll bank one ahead for Walker. And in it goes the San Jose side of the rink. Berard nearly stole it, or he did steal it. Tried to pass to Felton, wasn't ready for it. And Uhl will clear it out to center. Jet Wu picks it up. Took a high stick his last shift on. Now Christian Felton taps it in. Canucks make a change. Poisson intercepts a pass. Looking for a man open. Left point feed. There's Jimmy Schultz. Tees up a shot. Stick save. Rebound came to Kara, but then he lost it. And the Barracuda able to clear. Victor Mancini pressured by Huntington. Got tripped. Play goes on as Kara brings it across the attacking line. Drives wide. Kara around the net. Looks up. And now stops in the right corner. He's got Cam Bites parked in front. Kara tried to pass to Poisson. Hit a stick. Now it comes up the wing for Huntington. Huntington to center. Lund back to Huntington, and he'll shoot it in. Mancini deep in his own zone, able to make a pass to Jimmy Schultz. Schultz had his pass find Mancini, who just iced the puck though. And the whistle sounds at 7:47 to go. The Canucks wanted to change. They won't be able to. 3-3 tie. Mancini and Afanasiev trading goals just over 2 minutes apart. And so the line's all mixed up for both teams. We knew it would be that way for the Canucks, rolling with 11 forwards. But now the Barracuda at the moment down to 10 forwards. Off the face-off. Puck comes free for Poisson. He'll hand off for Klimovich, who goes back to get it. Passes behind his net. Mancini off the boards and out. Glove down at center by Cagnoni. He shoots it back in. Schultz up the boards. Waters is there. Lost the puck. Now a chance for Wahlstrom in tight. Wahlstrom's pass to the point and hit a stick and rolls down to the San Jose end. Might have been better off shooting that one. Canucks make the necessary change. Afanasiev able to skate through center. In the Canucks zone, wrist shot, blocker save. Tolopilo doesn't know where it is, and they score! Afanasiev has the last 2 goals in this game, and for the first time tonight, the Barracuda have the lead. Off the blocker, went straight in the air, over the head of Tolopilo, and into the back of the net. Just the way Afanasiev drew it up. A big goal here late in the third. And Afanasiev doing all the damage in this frame for the visitors. He's now got his 9th of the season. Tough break there for Tolopilo, who just lost it in midair and landed behind them in the net. We'll see how the Canucks respond, being down a goal for the first time. Barracuda win the face-off. Shot in. Lecker-Mackey, we'll see him and his line mates out a bunch the rest of the way. Here's Baines. Hustles after a loose puck in the San Jose zone. Baines, his pass hit a skate. Rolls to Vincent, and he'll chip it to center. Uhl will dump it in deep. Clayton behind the net. Knishoff to center for Baines. Baines takes his time, fires one in for Lecker-Mackey. He'll throw it towards the net. That's covered up quickly by Carrier. Face off deep in the San Jose zone. The Canucks have had a good period. But again, the power play has been their Achilles heel. 0 for 4 tonight and haven't been able to gain any momentum off it, where the Barracuda have with successful PKs all night. So Nolan Allen gets the only assist on Afanasiev's go-ahead goal at 12:51. Kara, Cam Bites, and Poisson on the ice. Canucks win it back. Jet Wu shoots it behind the net. Ends up to the corner. Kara ties up Thompson. Kara, nice play to feed it back to Wu at the blue line. Wu with a wrist shot, and that went off the glove of Carrier. Cam Bites gets it behind the net. Up the left side, feeds the other point. Dashke to Wu, right circle. Running out of space. Wu, turn it over to Huntington. What a read. And he'll bring it to center. Huntington down the left side. Around the net. Up the right side. Through the slot. Has Allen wide open. He shoots and he scores. Allen with 2 points over his last 2 shifts. And all of a sudden the Barracuda are up by 2. What a game from Huntington. He'll get the primary assist. And everybody in this rink pretty well stunned It was just tied 3-3, and now it's 5-3 for the visitors. Canucks down by 2, and a nice pinpoint shot by Nolan Allen, who's got a goal and assist tonight. This is what can happen when you take your foot off the gas a bit against a dangerous Barracuda squad, and to their credit, down their top 2 centermen, and it hasn't mattered. Barracuda dump it in, the Canucks dump it in the Barracuda zone. Berard lost the puck. Giles goes after it in the Canucks zone. Goaltender might be going to the bench soon. Here's Giles. Around the net, Wahlstrom. Left point for Allen. Allen to Wahlstrom, he'll shoot it behind the net. Barracuda just looking to take some time off the clock at the very least. Now the Canucks pick it up. Cooper Walker off the glass and out. Cagnoni down the right wing. Baines trying to steal it. Cagnoni tripped up. Barracuda want to call, not going to get it. Meanwhile, Ty Mueller the other way. Just over 5 minutes ago. Drop pass. Baines shoots. Stopped by Carrier. And he will hang on. 5:02 to go. And now some pushing and shoving between Schultz and Giles. And those two need to be separated. 2 veterans. And the buzzer sounds. We've hit our final media timeout. Let's look at the AHL out-of-town scoreboard. Pacific Division action happening right now. And Coachella Valley just beat Henderson 4-3. Ontario up 3-1 over Bakersfield less than 4 minutes ago. And about an hour ago, Tucson beating Calgary by 7-3 score. Hey fans, remember these 2 teams going at it tomorrow. Same place, different time. It's a 4 o'clock local start and a theme night. Vancouver Canucks night. Henrik Sedin and other Canucks alumni will be on hand. And Baines swipes it back, but it's stolen by Vincent, and he'll play it to center for Uhl. Anthony Uhl dumping it in. Lekkerimäki now forced to play D. Along the end boards, he's tied it up. In some skates. Berard watching closely. Able to pick it up and hand off for Lekkerimäki. Out to center, he finds Berard. Berard dumping it in. Tolopilo looking at the bench. And looks like he will go there. Comes down to this. Extra attacker on. It's Klimovich. 5 forwards and 1 defenseman. As there's a battle going along in the corner. The Barracuda have it, but Uhl can't clear. Klimovich on his back. Can't pick it up. And Van Roboys gets it out to center. Mancini, hard pass to Lekkerimäki. Back to Mancini inside the Canucks line. Over 4 minutes to go, and the net is empty. Here is Lecker-Mackey. Nice move through center. Now he lost it. Chernyshov to Huntington. Back to Chernyshov with the empty net. Along the boards, he shoots it wide. Canucks catch a break. Now Mueller trying to pass, stolen by Chernyshov. Another chance at the empty net, and he hit the post. Oh my goodness, now he throws it in front. Lund takes a shot, blocked by Mancini. Nice job by Mancini playing goaltender. Canucks struggling getting out. Now it comes to center, and Chernyshov loses it. Tries to get it back in front of his bench as the Canucks change. And Abbotsford has possession. Baines in the San Jose zone, backdoor to Klimovich, and he put it wide on the one-timer. And now the net's knocked off in the San Jose zone, and the Canucks catch a break as Chernyshov shot it out. Boy, a couple of glorious looks for Chernyshov, who's shaking his head right now. Missed a backhander and then hit the post on a cleaner look. 3:26 left, and I wonder if the Canucks use a timeout here. They've dodged a couple of bullets. With a post and a save by Mancini. Faceoff's going to be in the neutral zone. Barracuda looking for their 5th straight win, while the Canucks looking to avoid a 4th straight loss. Severely undermanned again are the Canucks. Ravinskis, Reichel at the Olympics, Ulrichsen and Minio got hurt on the last road trip. They have no healthy scratches. Everybody that's healthy is playing here tonight. And now the timeout is called. Harry Mahesh gonna regather his team and talk about the setup. First thing is first, they gotta win the draw and get possession in the San Jose zone before they can pull Tolopilo, who went back to his crease just before the timeout was called. Shots in this period favor Abbotsford 11-9. They've been pretty good, except for a couple minutes stretch after Afanasiev tied it at 7:55. So it remains 5-on-5. After a short breather, Berard, Lecker-Mackey, Mueller, Baines, Mancini are out. Klimovich was the extra attacker last time. We'll see if that's the case again if Tolopilo gets to the bench. Huntington wins the draw. Allen to Carlson. He'll bank one to center, and Giles dumps it just across the line. Mancini makes a nice pass to Mueller. Mueller at center. Passes to Berard. Under pressure, Carlson knocked him down. Mancini gets it back. Takes his time. Passes to Lecker-Mackey. Lecker-Mackey right back to Mancini. Barracuda clogging up the neutral zone. Lecker-Mackey takes the pass. Center ice pass. Mueller dumps it in. There goes Tolopilo. Under 3 minutes to go. Canucks need 2 to tie as the Barracuda chip it into the Canucks zone. And it looked like it hit somebody in the bench, and the whistle does sound. And he touched it inside the Barracuda line. Faceoff should be in the Barracuda zone as the officials gather and chat. Barracuda lining up in the neutral zone. Canucks saying it should be inside the blue line. Lengthy discussion here by all 4 officials trying to make the right call. And the faceoff will be just in front of the Barracuda bench, and Manny Malhotra's not happy about the decision. Tolopilo forced to go back to his net. 2:47 on the clock. Barracuda win another face-off. Huntington again. Giles to the Canucks line. Afanasiev flicks it in. Lecker-Mackey takes a handoff from Tolopilo. Now he leaves it for Mancini. 2:30 to go. Canucks got to hurry. Berard takes the pass. Gets over center and dumps it in. There goes Tolopilo. Another 6-on-5 opportunity. Giles behind his net to Thompson. Plays it around the boards. Klimovich hustles to hold it in. Shoots it behind the net. Grabbed down by Haché. He'll take a crack at the empty net. And he's going to score. That will do it. Haché makes it 6-3. And the fans head towards the exits. I don't know if he's trying for it, but it worked. Former Saginaw Spirit captain Brayden Haché getting his second of the year. And what an outburst. 4 unanswered from the 7:55 mark on. Will extend the Canucks losing streak to 4 and extend the Barracuda win streak to 5. So just over 2 minutes to go. Face off at center. Barracuda win it back. Flicked in deep. Jet Wu tied up by Van Roboys. Walker lost the puck. Houle throws it in front and they score. Vincent on the doorstep puts it home and it's 7-3. And now Van Roboys and Wu having a chat after the goal. Jet Wu gave him a whack to the back. So make it 5 unanswered, and it's the Chilliwack Chief, Anthony Vincent, able to put home his 4th of the year on a nice setup from Houle. So an exclamation point for the Barracuda. And for fans who haven't watched this game and look at the box score, they would think it was a blowout, but this game was tied 3-3 going to the 3rd, and it was 4-3 at the 5:28 mark in favor of the Canucks. Or I should say, sorry, 3-2 for the Canucks. Now the Barracuda have scored 5 unanswered, as both Wu and Van Roboys both get penalties. Should be 4-on-4. Jujhar Khaira going to take the draw against Huntington. Off the face-off, Allen. Vincent wants a piece of Cam Bites, and now Cam Bites drops the gloves, and we're gonna have a scrap. Vincent just scored, and now he's gonna fight Cam Bites as those two are on the ice and gonna be broken up. The fight didn't last long, but both players got some blows in. And Vincent still hasn't given up, despite Cam Bites laying on the ice with his helmet off. That's always dangerous. And those two separate, and I wonder if it sets up maybe another tilt for tomorrow. So that was a long time coming between these two. We've seen a lot of scrums, and now finally with a minute 47 to go, some fighting majors. Vincent was whacking at Cam Bites on the draw, wanted to go, and he got his wish. As those two tied up and didn't let each other go when they were rolling around on the ice. So lots going on these last few minutes, including a couple of goals from the Barracuda, from Haché and Vincent. So Anthony Vincent finishes an assist shy of the Gordie Howe hat trick. That'll set the tone for tomorrow. Barracuda will take a 4-1 lead in the season series when this buzzer sounds. Barracuda win the draw. Allen behind his net, plays it ahead for Haché. Haché, cross ice to Allen. Allen intended for Giles, he missed it, but Allen picks it back up. Solid period here from Nolan Allen, who has a goal and an assist. Now here's Haché. Had the empty netter to Allen. Backhands it towards the circle. Now Giles along the goal line. Backhand feed to Allen up top for Haché. Wrist shot blocked. That hit Waters. Now behind the net is Victor Mancini. Make that Cole Clayton. Dino Klimovich dumping it in. Last minute of play, 3rd period. Allen behind his net. Passes to Afanasiev. Really picked it up in the 3rd period. He'll pass towards Haché. Huntington to Allen. Up ahead for Afanasiev. With speed in the Canucks zone, looking for the hat trick. Makes a move to the right corner. Now tied up from behind by Dashke. Separates him from the puck, and Mancini takes over behind his net. Victor Mancini to center. Finds Dashke. Dashke cross ice to Berard. Berard in the San Jose zone. Left wing feed Dashke. Dashke shoots one off the stick, and that goes out of play. 15 seconds on the clock. Gotta think we'll see 2 new goaltenders tomorrow. Koskinvoa is on the bench tonight. We'll see if he gets a start tomorrow afternoon. And for the Barracuda, former Abbey Heat goaltender, Laurent Brossois likely to get the start, and he's been playing well. He's won 3 of his last 4, including Wednesday night in that win against Coachella Valley. 32-year-old from Port Alberni. And we'll have 2 players in tomorrow's game, in all likelihood, from the island. Ben Berard from Duncan and Laurent Brossois from Port Alberni. Barracuda win the faceoff. Thompson. Pass ahead for Giles, less than 10 seconds to go. Giles dumps it in. Thompson picks it up with 4 seconds left, tied up by Dashke, and that is going to do it. An outburst in the third. 5 unanswered in less than 13 minutes. Final score, Barracuda 7, Canucks 3. And they'll do it again tomorrow at 4 p.m. local time. Final shots on goal, 24 for San Jose, 23 for Abbotsford. And again, very quiet in this building. Fans wondering what happened. They were leading 3-2, and it's a 7-3 final. Don't see that very often, but give credit to the Barracuda, who found their offensive stride and pick up their 5th straight win, while the Canucks have lost their last 4. So I don't know who would have saw 10 goals being scored between these two after it was scoreless after the opening period. As you get to the scoring summary now, it began at 3:13. Arshdeep Bains getting his 6th of the year from Mueller. Nice play from the left corner, taking hard to the net to score. But Jimmy Huntington, who had a great game, tied it at 10:28, his 9th of the year from Carlson and Lund on a nice tip. Then at 10:55, the shift after, Lecker-Mackey wore a penalty shot, scored a beauty, his 11th of the year, extending his point streak to 5 games. But the lead wouldn't last long as Oliver Wahlstrom tied it up at 15:29, his 13th of the year unassisted. And so it's 2-2 going into the third when Mancini scored at 5:28, his 3rd from Lecker-Mackey and Mueller. This place was buzzing. The Canucks are looking good, but that was the last goal they would score. San Jose gets the next 5. The game tied at 7:55 from Igor Afanasyev, his 8th from Huntington. And then Afanasyev scores a go-ahead goal at 12:51, his 9th from Allen. Made it 4-3. And then Allen scoring at 14:02, his 4th from Huntington. Made it 5-3. 17:50, Braden Haché scoring in the empty at his 2nd unassisted. And then the next shift, Anthony Vincent at 18:06 scoring his 4th from Houle and Van Roboys. And that is all she wrote. What a third period from San Jose. With that win, they improved their record to 26-13-1-2. The Canucks fall to 15-26-3-3. Power play department, this area hurt the Canucks tonight. They went 0 for 4, San Jose 0 for 1. Both teams had 11 shots apiece in the third. Overall, the Barracuda at 24, the Canucks 23. And should set up an exciting game for tomorrow. Had a lot of physical play, some rough stuff. Had a late fight between Vincent and Cam Bites. And the Canucks hoping to get a weekend split and avoid a 5-game losing skid. The Barracuda now leading the season series 4 wins to Abbotsford's 1. In net, Gabriel Carrier, solid. He picks up the win. He's now 11-7-3. Tolopilo drops below 500. He is now 5-6-3. And expecting again tomorrow's goaltending duel to be Koskinvoa against Brossois. Valuable lesson for the Canucks in this third period. Can't take your foot off the gas, and it's been a tough year all around. And sometimes when it's been tough, we've seen it up with a big club. They've admitted many times when the going gets tough, sometimes you get in a hole and you can't get out of it. And that's kind of what happened in the third period after Afanasyev tied it at 3 at 7:55. The Barracuda just turned it up into another gear and able to get the 7-3 victory. So again, tomorrow's game at 4 p.m., an early start. That'll be the last time we'll see San Jose in this rink. And it's Vancouver Canucks night. Henrik Sedin on a hand. And a few fans are coming to the game. Henrik will be answering some questions at 3 p.m. So if you get here early, head to the South Rise where you'll hear Henrik Sedin. That's going to do it for me here in the broadcast booth. I want to thank you fans that tuned in. Do it again tomorrow. The final score, San Jose 7, Abbotsford 3. Thanks for tuning in on your Friday night. My name is Brent Ansel saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow night at 4 p.m.